All right, let me put this on.
Is Janet from another planet? 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 Is Janet from another planet?
Today's digital landscape with the spread of false information can lead to dangerous outcomes. It's crucial for everyone to think critically and verify sources and reflect on the impact of what they share. Let's promote responsible communication to ensure that truth prevails and actions remain rooted in reality.
The opinions you're about to hear on this show are strictly those of the panel.
The following program is rated TV MA LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Friday Night Shit Show, where we always have tons of shit to talk about. Well, I just want to say thank you to my two people on the panel tonight. I'm so happy. We have Ruben again. Hi, Ruben. How are you?
Hello. Good.
And we have Richard. How are you, Richard? Thank you for joining me tonight. I really, really appreciate it.
No problemo. Anytime you need me, just send out a little message and I'll show up.
Awesome.
Just let the naughty list elves know, and I will show up.
Okay. Well, we got a lot of stuff that's been going on this last week. I mean, just like here, there, everything is just lots of stuff just coming out. Some good, some bad. But you know, that's why I want to do the show every Friday, is because Friday is a good time to sum up what we heard about all week long, whether it's good or bad. But I do try to share good stuff on here also. But I'm going to share really quickly. I want to share my Friday Night Shit Show gmail.com in the chat real quick. So anyone that has anything you think's interesting or that you might like us to talk about or bring up, I'm going to I'll go through my emails, and if I can find information about it, I'll try to share it. But I just want to say thank you to everyone in the chat also. So let's do that real quick before we start hanging out, you know, showing out all our good stuff that we got. So there we go. Hi, Jackie. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And I know you got to go to work, so you won't be able to stay as long as, you know, I could need people sometimes. We get a lot of real crazy people in here. But there you go. So, yeah, there you go. Posted already in here. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And there you go. David. Thank you, David. Appreciate you. And then I said hi over on my Rumble channel because it's separate. I have to have it open on my phone just so I can read what's over there. Hello,
Yeah,
Raven. Do what?
I said, it really sucks that you can't have your Rumble chat hooked up to your StreamYards. So
I know.
I have to keep my Rumble over here
But
on the secondary computer.
every time they ask at the end, they say, what can we do that's better? I always say, combine our chat, so that we could talk to all of them in one place instead of having to have, like I have 3 different places I'm streaming, and I have to go to X or to my, to LinkedIn or to wherever I'm at on my phone, just so I can reply on that. And I just think that sucks, but oh well, that's the way it is. Hi, Gemini. How are you? I've been so busy. I've missed so many things. I've tried to stop in on the spaces and stuff, but I really appreciate you supporting me. You're such a sweetheart. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. But also, here is my Friday Night Shit Show at gmail.com. And just send us stuff. And I do read them. I will try to get it up on the show if it's not going to get me another copyright strike, because I already have 2. I got 2 warnings right now. One's 2 years old, but I still have it. I haven't been able to get rid of it. And then I got a new one when they demonetize me, saying that I post the same videos over and over again for clicks. So, well, I can't do anything about it, even though I sent them a video and said, here's what I do. But
well, they did
no.
something similar to Jill, anti-derivative Jill.
Mm-hmm.
They said that she was AI. They said that Stark of Iron was AI.
Mm-hmm.
And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. YouTube makes money when they demonetize their creators.
Mm-hmm.
That means they get to keep the money from your
super chats.
They get to keep the money from anybody who has
subscribed to you. Mm-hmm.
Yep, all of that stuff. They get to keep it all. So
I didn't get a dime. I had over 300 after 2 months, and I just submitted my tax stuff. I was so excited, and I'd made videos for super chats and everything. And then I got that thing, and they said that you have been suspended for making the same repetitive video over and over again. So I went through all of my stuff, and I put, episode 1, episode 2 on, like on the shit show. Because I thought, well, I use the same picture. Maybe they think that's it. But when I made them my 4-minute video showing, I got chicken videos, I got arts and crafts, I got cosplay, I got movie reviews, I got shit show, I do gaming on Saturdays, I do all this stuff. And they still said no. So it's like, oh, well, nothing I can do about it then. So no, my hair is pulled up in a bun. Because I wanted to fix it down, but it just looked like shit. So I pulled it up again. But no, I didn't cut it. I still have it. But hi, Bob. How are you? Thank you for stopping in. I really appreciate you. We appreciate all of you guys. I mean, thank you for being so supportive, even though I know the shit show gets on a lot of people's nerves, because I started out with tons of people always wanted to be on the panel every week. But after a while, some people just say, fuck it. I hate politics. This sucks. It's never going to get better, whatever. And they just say, fuck you. And they leave. And then I don't have anyone. But guess what? I'm not quitting, because that's why we're where we are today, is because too many people said, fuck it, I'm not voting anymore. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. And we got screwed because of it. We got so much fraud, so many criminals, so many pieces of shit running around with our tax dollars that you and I, went to work scrubbing, hammering, cleaning, whatever it is. And they're keeping it. Getting shot at, being a cop, being a paramedic, whatever it is that you're doing, and they're stealing it from us. And we let them, basically, by just not putting in our effort. But see, there are a few people like me that are real boneheaded and annoying, that I go work the polls, and I volunteer at the animal shelter, whatever I can do. Because I hear about a lot of things. I do promotional work. So I travel to, like Oklahoma, to Louisiana and Arkansas, basically. Those are my 3 busiest places. But I hear about a lot of stuff that's going on in the area that I'm at. So they'll say, hey, would you come and help us this one day? I'm like, oh, it's a little bit out of the way. But guess what? I do it. Whenever I can afford to do it, I do it. And I've donated to women's shelters. I've done tons of stuff, but I'm so thankful because I feel like I've done something. You know, I haven't just sat on my ass going, oh God, you know, I just don't sit around and bitch about it. So when, like today, I did this, I really did do this in my Discord. I said, I'm going to have different people I'm going to invite to be my wrenches and to be on my panel. And if you don't like it, too bad. Because if you aren't going to get off your ass and come be on my show and help me and be supportive, then you don't have the right to bitch and moan about it. Because I want other people's points of view on the show. I think it's important that we don't always just go lock, step, and barrel, because nothing gets solved when everybody just is in the hive mind. It's just not good. It's not good for all of us, because none of us are the same. Our DNA proves so every single one of us are not the same as the person next to us. Okay. And God did that. Okay. Not me and not you and not just our parents. Okay. They had some help. But the thing is that, you know, if we just sit on our ass, nothing gets done. Nothing changes. So I don't care if people like me. I get death threats. I get all that shit. And I'm sure you guys have gotten hate yourselves. But I'm not going to quit doing it. You know, I'm just going to keep doing it. So, that's why I started doing this. And my first show, I had my sister on it. Our mother had died, and we were just depressed. And we just said, "Fuck it, let's do a live stream, and we'll call it the Friday Night Shit Show." I think you remember, Ruben. Did you join us, Sandy and I? So
at one time, yeah.
So it started. You know, I just started getting on there and talking about shit that we wished we could fix. That, you know, but some things are out of our hands. But if we talk about it with other people, maybe we can come up with some good ideas on how to help each other and achieve goals. Like, someone's never worked the polls, I'll tell them, this is what you do, this is what you do, and go in and they'll train you and you just follow the rules. American Bob was one of them. I used to say it all the time. Sign up and work the polls, sign up and work the polls, you know, all the time. And I know I sound like a broken record, but American Bob did it. And he went and worked the polls. So now he knows what other people are talking about. I saw this happen, and I know they were, you know, stealing, or they weren't doing something right. He would be able to see it because he's worked in a place, and he would be able to say, hey, that person's not supposed to be doing that, you know, because you can't help but know it once you learn something. Just like in the military or being a cop, you sense things. If someone stole something, you could tell the way that they're acting, that you got to keep an eye on that person. It's just things, instincts that you get over time. So that's all I'm saying, is that if you guys want to make a difference, you can. It doesn't mean you have to be active all day long, every day. It just means like once a month, volunteer to do something. Go to the animal shelter. Go help at the elderly home. Go to the VA building, you know, and say, hey, I'd like to help you guys. What can I help you guys do today? Clean windows, dust ceiling fans.
VA has an entire volunteer section. You go in, you ask for the volunteer to where you go volunteer, and they will definitely direct you how to get there. In fact, usually somebody will escort you there, so you don't get lost. And say, okay, this is our volunteer coordinators, and they'll ask you a whole bunch of questions, trying to figure out where best to put you. When I was relearning how to walk at the Asheville VA after my accident, the veterans coordinator, or the volunteer coordinators, they had so many volunteer groups that would come in and help those of us who were living at the VA at the time, especially during the holidays. They would do, we had a casino night. And the volunteers were purposefully losing to give the vets that didn't have any money, could have some money to buy stuff, buy ghee dunk from the store there at the VA. And they were some of the kindest, most caring and compassionate people, especially during the holidays when so many of us, our family was 2 to 3, maybe even 4 hour away drives. And as a broken, crippled vet, I'm going to say this: if you guys can volunteer at the VA, you'll remember it. They remember it, and they cherish it. So, yeah, that's a good one, Miss Janet. That is a good place to volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm crying.
No, I understand. I'm a huge, it's what another thing that I always say in spaces or many of my streams and other people's streams is that I'm a huge, person who rallies for our troops. Just like I constantly complain that I don't think any other country should be getting tons of our money if we have homeless vets. I just don't agree with that. I just think that we have money here that should be taking care of our people, American citizens. America first. I'm a true America first person, and so are you, Ruben. I know Ruben is.
The
So,
Bible says charity starts at home,
mhm.
and that's the problem. Too many people keep forgetting is you need to look at home first and make sure home is secure and everybody's supported, and then you can help others. Because if you don't help your own family and help yourself, you're going to leave yourself in such a way that if, heaven forbid, something goes wrong, you're leaving yourself exposed, and your most vulnerable will get hurt. And I've been in that situation where I was trying to help everybody when I didn't have much of anything. I still do that, but I have learned enough to put money aside now for a rainy day. And I am trying my best not to end up hurting so bad. And so, yeah, that's the America First thing of us. We need to take care of our own, because there's just too many people in need right now here at home. And there's so many veterans and their loved ones that need the help. And
Yeah, that was one of the things that I complained about during the whole COVID thing, was the fact that we were forced to close our churches, but the strip bars were open. You couldn't go to the VA and take cookies or sandwiches and stuff, because they weren't allowed to have people in there. That kind of stuff. To me, that was control. That wasn't help your neighbor. By saying, "Oh, you can go to the strip bar because you won't catch COVID because you're too busy looking at women's boobs or something."
Go to BLM and
it was ridiculous. Stupid.
Riot. You're not going to catch it there. Heck, today, anytime you call the VA to set something up, they're asking you, if you have COVID symptoms, please don't come in. To this day.
Yeah, it's the whole thing is a control thing, and some people fell for it. I still see people driving in their car alone with a mask, and that's just the way they're going to live the rest of their life. But this is something I wanted to share when we were talking about that, because even though he's not a human, this is a person to me, because I love animals. He's like a person. Man. He's a partner to our troops. And this made me cry a little bit. I have a little dog right now, but I've lost a few pets over the years that have been very loyal. And these dogs are specially trained to do certain jobs in the military, sniffing out bombs, attacking on the command of their officer, whoever they're with, those type of things. But they do their jobs because they're soldiers, but they're just happen to be canines. I love this one, and I wanted to share it. David Harris Jr., I follow him on Instagram, and he always has some really good stuff. And I've posted a lot of his things on my shows because I just think he's a wonderful American and is a patriot, and he cares about freedom and our country and our veterans. So I wanted to share this. It says, "This is Canine Valor. He saved 47 soldiers. He survived a suicide bomber, then went on to stop 3 more, fighting tooth against knife. In the end, he placed himself between an explosion and his handler." I'm going to get emotional again. Sorry. But you can see what happened to him. And he was given an award at the Pentagon. And when he was honored, he had a standing ovation that lasted for 8 minutes. This is the kind of stuff that I'd like to see on the news. But because of the Smith-Mundt Act, that's what I could remember earlier, Modernization Act that Obama signed into law when he was president. I think it was in 2000, what was it, 19 or 18, around in there sometime. But so that they don't have to tell the truth, they can just kind of like lean this way or that. And that's why they were able to get away with so much, enforcing Facebook and other apps like Twitter and YouTube to force you out. Okay. Because I had 4 or 5 of my videos taken down off YouTube simply because I talked about Comet Ping Pong, because I talked about child trafficking, or I talked about COVID and lots of other things. So it's just sad that we live in a country that I feel in my heart is the best country in the world, the most free country there is. Yet we still have this stuff going on to where a person can't say this or that. And I'm not talking about getting on the corner and saying death to whoever and stuff like that. I'm just saying, if you want to say, please pray, become a Christian, or whatever it is, that, if you're on the street corner, you're not grabbing people and dragging them down to make them pray or whatever. I think you should have the right to do that. I really do believe that. And I believe that soldiers have died for us to have the right to do those things, to own a weapon, to own your own home, to go to the grocery store over there instead of that one, all these different things. Buy a car that you want to drive, not one the government says you have to drive and plug in for 2 days before you can go 30 miles, stuff like that. So I don't know. I just wanted to share this because to me, this is a sacrifice. And the soldiers that train this dog to do all the wonderful things that he was able to do, it just makes a difference. And if we don't tell other people, then how are they ever going to know anything? And that's another reason why I share this stuff. But you guys know about this? I'm sorry, what?
Can you make the picture of the pup a little bit bigger?
Oh, yeah, here we go. Let me see if I can get it bigger. There we go. Oh, sweet man. Sweet guy. What a good boy. But yeah, I'm going to share this link in the chat for anybody who wants to see it, and share it with other people, because that's why I share all the links. I share everything because I want other people to share it with their family and friends, or on their timeline, because they may be on TikTok, they may be on Rumble, they may be on Kick. I don't know what app they're on. So I just would like you to share it. So hold on. Read the bottom of the picture that I shared. Is that what you're saying? Oh, it's saying that it's a fake story. Fuck, really? Let me go see. And I even cried over it a couple times. Let me make it small again.
What?
It says this story is fabricated. No U.S. military record confirmed. Oh, well, okay. Yes, this might be wrong, but this does happen, because we do have military dogs, because I knew of a few military dogs when my dad was in the military. They used lots of German Shepherds and other breeds of dogs to help them find mines, all kinds of different things. But yeah, that just really makes me sad. And I should have known that. It says Snopes says that. So I don't really know if I believe Snopes or not. But I do. It says you can find this. I can rate this. But if I rate it on here live, you guys will see my name and stuff. So I'm not going to do that right now. but I have that ability to put notes on stuff on X. But I should have looked at that a little better. But I'm really sorry. But thank you for bringing that to my attention. But I did cry over it a couple times. Oh, I'm so embarrassed right now. But oh well, can't help it. I do have a heart.
One of the things that gets me, there are some medals that they don't give to the K9 units, but they do. I have seen where they've given a K9 a silver star, a bronze star with a V for valor,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just, yeah, it's one of those things that there are K9 units that have done some really amazing things that if it had been a human that did it, they would have got a Medal of Honor.
Well, I have seen, I don't know their name, but I've been to a couple ceremonies, and I think both of them were in the Army, and they were the handler and the dog that won an award because they saved lives, and were able to. One of them was a person that had a weapon. I think it was a big bolo knife thing or something, and they were charging after people, and the dog was able to attack, and then the man came and helped, and the dog got stabbed a few times, but he was able to apprehend the guy because of the dog, because even though that dog's getting beat really bad or whatever, they don't quit. You know what I mean? They don't let go. They do what their master tells them to do, and they are so well trained. It's just amazing what they're able to do. But that was one of them, and I remember seeing it, and my mom was crying her eyes out. It was it's really emotional because just because it's a dog, because you've seen all these shows, you can see dogs that herd sheep, herd horses and cattle, that catch moles and all kinds of snakes and rodents. They do anything, and all they want is a treat, or a pet on the head. It's just amazing that how animals have helped us humans throughout the history, as far back as I know of, that there have been animals that have helped and assisted. Horses, donkeys, dogs have helped people with their jobs and their livelihoods. So I just think I thought it was great. But I want to share this really quick. This was something else I thought, and there's no notes on it, so it's real. But this is President Trump walking out of his brand new Air Force One at Joint Base Andrews. So I just wanted to share this real quick because I just think it's great. And he's look at the beautiful colors. So pretty. I'll turn it off so you don't get in trouble with YouTube. But look how proud he is to have his new plane. They've been working on this for years, it seems like. But boy, Trump has used his plane a lot. It seems like every time you turn around, he's flying somewhere else to do something.
Well, considering the fact he doesn't sleep that much, it's kind of just the way he's a workaholic.
Yeah. That's why he gets so much done. But that is really nice. I just wanted to share that because that was one of the things that came across my timeline. And I thought it was really nice to finally see it because I don't know how many years it was. I think it was even his first administration they were talking about. They were working on this plane or something. And they were going to put some kind of special engines on it. And he was talking about different things like that. I don't remember exactly everything about it, but I do remember it took years and years and years to get that done, to get that plane done. And it's got to be a good plane, and it's got to be able to do a heck of a lot more than the regular planes that we use because it has the leader of the free world basically flying on it. So, but oh well, I just wanted to share that. I thought that was some good news once in a while. But okay, well, here we go. We're getting ready to start with our first thing here. Let me get it opened. Number 20. Is this it? I think this is it. Yeah, here we go.
They're
All
talking
right.
about they're talking about my buddy Chippy in the chat.
Oh, they are? Who's Chippy? Your kitty?
No, Chippy, the wood chipper.
Oh,
He eats PDF files, and he's
yeah.
starting to drool about the possibility of starting to get to eat the politicians who protect them.
Yeah, I have another friend. He's in the chat that talks about wood chippers all the time, but he wants to put, people that hurt kids and stuff in them. But
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's the
he
PDF
loves
file.
wood chippers himself. Maybe one day, we can have a fundraiser and buy him one of his own, so he could have it at home. But I thought this was pretty nice when it came. It says the Department of Justice just unsealed images of weapons and maps tied to a terror plot that was targeting President Trump's UFC Freedom 2650 at the White House. Okay, so and it says a 19-year-old in Ohio was picked up after his mother called the authorities on him, and investigators say she may have blown the entire plot wide open. But I wanted to share this this
few
whole
days
thing with
ago.
you guys.
This was 4 days before the UFC fight. We want to show some images. The first image I believe that we're going to show is a rifle that belonged to her son, according to authorities. The other is a screen grab, several screen grabs showing aerial images and maps of the Washington, D.C. area and discussing where snipers possibly would be related to the White House. This is all evidence that is posted on an official court docket right now, an official government document. But I will say 19-year-old Tyson Proper's mother called police after she was concerned about his purchases and communications with people online. It then led them to conversations that he allegedly had with someone named Brian Roa and Michael Thomas in Southern California. They appeared yesterday before a federal judge. We're also told that there is a suspect in Nebraska and one in Missouri as well. So what we're being told here, Kaylee and everyone on the couch, is that this alleged plot consisted of a plan to have drones that were actually armed with some type of firepower go and attack buildings around the White House. And once people left, they were going to have snipers nearby attacking some of the people leaving. This was a serious plot. The FBI, the Secret Service investigating this right now. And as you heard, the deputy director of the Secret Service right there say that they believe there are more people out there. Right now, though, 5 people facing these charges. And it's incredible to go through these documents and see what happened. But it appears that it was this 19-year-old's mother in Ohio who really spilled the beans on this entire case by letting people know that she had some concerns about her son, Kaylee.
Yeah, that's pretty scary. But the good thing is it was foiled before people were hurt. And that is why we're supposed to have the FBI and other agencies to protect the people of America before, we have a 9/11 or anything like that. And we're supposed to be able to trust those people with our tax dollars to be looking for that kind of stuff to stop it, and then share it with us once they do, so that we can see that what they're doing, the transparency stuff. I like that. I think I would love to see all the things that they've been doing. And they are more in this administration than I've seen in any other ones, of things that they've been able to stop. The arrests of all the traffickers and all this different stuff. I share it on my show all the time. But the sad thing is you hardly see it on the news. You hardly see it anywhere besides X and a few other apps where there's people like us that will share it, right? Because most apps don't want you to share it. They say, oh, it's sad or whatever. Do what?
One of the things about what happened during the Obama and Biden administration, you had the FBI pulling what they did with the Whitmer attempted kidnapping scandal, to where it was like 20 or 30 FBI agents and 2 mentally handicapped people.
Yeah.
That they were able to convince to go along with it. And that right there, every time something like that happens, it makes it harder to believe stuff. It's like what happened with January the 6th.
Mm-hmm.
The pipe bomb that pipe bomber they kept talking about turned out to be an FBI dude.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, and a lot of the people that was causing problems at January the 6th turned out to either be FBI informants or confidential operatives,
Mm-hmm.
or they were BLM or Antifa plants.
Yep.
Yep.
And whenever you try to bring that stuff up, oh, that's just conspiracy theory. And then after they got found out and convicted for it, and you post, no, here it is. This is the person. Take a look. This is their rap sheet of all of their Antifa and BLM shit. And
but see, you're talking about it right now. You're able to talk about it, share it with people, and share pictures and stuff like that when we wouldn't have been able to do it 3 years ago. You see what I mean? That's the difference already. See, we're seeing a change for the better, that we're able to get this stuff out. And hopefully, once the stuff's all out, people will say, I ain't falling for that again.
Yeah.
I'm not falling for that again. And hopefully that'll work. But what happens is just like what happened with 9/11. I remember after 9/11, everyone seemed so patriotic. There were flags everywhere. Everybody was talking about how we were going to be there for each other and stuff. And then how many years has it been? And people are already like, people don't even care anymore.
Sadly, that only lasted a few months before the Democrats started attacking George W. Bush, saying he was a fascist, that he was worse than Hitler. I'm sorry, I'm 56 years old, and I've been politically astute since I was a child, because some of my earliest memories of watching TV was watching The Fall of Saigon, and Richard Nixon, right after he resigned, getting onto Army One to leave the White House. Those are some of my earliest memories. And I remember throughout the 70s and 80s reading comic books and stuff, and every time they needed a corrupt politician, it was always a Republican. And how every time an election came up, the Republicans are fascists, they're worse than Hitler. And it has just progressively gotten worse to where, I'm sorry, I grew up in the 80s. I remember Ronald Reagan and the way they went after him. Everything that you're seeing that they're doing with Trump, all the accusations, they made those same accusations against Ronald Reagan. They did it against Bob Dole when he ran, especially George W. Bush, and the milquetoast Romney.
Oh yeah,
it's just progressively gotten worse. And it's got to a point where they've dehumanized the Republicans so much. People cheer. This guy was just wearing a red ball cap, and somebody walked up behind him and shot him twice in the head. And the Antifa BLM people said, looks like somebody just took the trash out, and they're all cheering and So
That's terrible. It's gotten to where if you say you're a conservative, that means you hate gays, that means you hate blacks, you hate Hispanics, you hate everyone. You're just a fascist hater, Nazi, bigot. It goes on and on and on, which is baloney. I'm a conservative. I believe in smaller government. I believe that you should be able to keep more money in your pocket for your family than you have to hand over for taxes. I believe that I should pick and choose my doctor, my nurse, my grocery store, whether or not I want to collect rainwater on my own property to water my plants or my goats or my chickens, any of that stuff. That's the kind of stuff I believe in. And guess what? I don't give a shit. And I'm one person that's an advocate for the census, that they shouldn't ask whether you're black, Hispanic, or any of that stuff. What does that have anything to do with it? Yeah, we need to know how old you are, because what kind of things with facilities that we're going to have for you and schools. But what difference does your skin color make on a census? To me, it means nothing. It's stupid, and I never fill it out. I never put down what my race is. I think it's ridiculous, and that shouldn't even be on there. But some people want to put it on there because they think they can use it for racism against someone else. When you're in a town that only has very few Black people or very few Hispanics, oh, this whole town is racist. You see, they can take whatever they want out of it. I just think it's ridiculous, and they use it as a weapon instead of to help people. To me, that's
one for you. All right, you heard about there was this attempt. A group of African Americans wanted to have a town that was nothing but African Americans, and you had Democrat politicians supporting their move to do it. But at the same time, there was a group of people who went out in the middle of BFE. It wasn't a town; it was just a large area, and they were all buying up the property and building their own little community, and it was all whites. And those people were being accused of being racist and bigots and everything else. And they were not an incorporated town like the attempt by the African American group who wanted to have an incorporated town that was nothing but Black people. Then you had something similar going on in Texas, where it was a bunch of Muslims and they were going to have a Sharia compliant town where Sharia was going to be the ultimate law of the town down there in Texas. And the Texas governor and attorney general both said, nope, can't do that. That's unconstitutional. So, yeah.
Well, remember when I just remember the uproar over this when it came out, when they started BET TV, Black Entertainment Television. And it was all Black oriented. But if someone like me said, I'm going to start white entertainment TV, I'm a racist, you see?
Yeah.
But see, there should be no such thing either called reverse racism, because what is reverse racism? Racism is racism. It doesn't matter who's saying it. If you're saying stuff against someone because of their skin color, you're a racist. Okay. That's all. That's how easy it is. It's that simple. If you're judging someone simply because, like me, okay, I felt like I was picked on because I had two sisters, one above me, one below me. Both of them were blonde. Both of them were 5 feet tall, and they were built like Mae West. Okay, and I was tall and skinny and had brown hair.
Well, here's
Okay.
here's
So
something
I got nothing.
this is something I say all the time when people go off on, oh, you can't be racist if you're a minority. And I'm like, okay, here we go. You have a pile of shit, a paper bag of shit, a plastic bag of shit, and a box of shit. What's the difference between those four things of shit? The only thing that's different is the container.
Yeah.
Racism is racism is racism. Hate is hate. Nothing else. And if you're going to try to say, oh, just because it's in a plastic bag, it's not a pile of shit, you need to get your head examined. Because
I wanted to share this real quick. Where is it? I just saw it right here. It doesn't matter right now. What we're not talking about who owns it. What I was talking about was when you start a channel and it's called BET, Black Entertainment TV. It doesn't. The person watching it or the person seeing it as they're flicking their channels doesn't have a clue who owns it. Okay, they're not thinking about that. All they're thinking about is what? A channel just for Blacks? Well, then if someone else started a channel and it was called White Entertainment TV, everyone would think that you need to go out and hang people, shoot people, tar and feather people, because that's racism. But why wasn't it considered racism when they said they wanted black entertainment TV? I didn't get upset about it. I didn't care if people wanted to watch a channel that was all leaning towards supposed black people. I didn't have a problem with it. It was the people that had the problem with it were basically the people that didn't want you to have another channel that was all like Menendo channel, right? There's other channels that's only for certain people, but we don't have one, because I'm white looking, but guess what? I got a great grandmother that was raised on the Indian reservation because she was full blood Chickasaw Nation. Okay, just because I look a certain way, my DNA will say something different. So, and plus I do have black relatives. Okay. So I have a mixture of things in my life, and I'm not racist, but I get upset when people point the finger at me because of my skin color, or because I have a vajayjay. Okay. That I have to hate men, or that I have to hate someone of a different race. And I think that's wrong. It's wrong on either side for anyone to point their finger at anyone and not want to have them involved or like them simply because of their skin color, or they got tits, or they got a penis. I think that is ridiculous. All that's ridiculous. The person should be judged on their merit. What are they going to give to the situation? Would I want to bring that person in when they can't type on a computer? They can't sew. They can't glue. They can't read. I'm not going to hire them for a job if they can't fulfill the duty that I need them for. Has nothing to do with whether they're tall, short, fat, skinny, old, young, black, red. Who cares? That's why I don't agree with any of the stuff about hiring anyone for any job if they're not qualified. If it's my house burning down, I want a fireman that can come and take my unconscious body out of the building before I burn to death. That's what I want. And that's what every other person that I know whose families are at risk, because we use DEI hires to hire people when they don't know how to do the damn work. See, that's the part that screws us up. You take it one step farther every time simply because, that person doesn't understand. So we have to put it in their face. Put it in their face and show them the truth, and then make everyone have to do what I say because I know more. That's why we're where we're at right now. The stupidity of it. Instead of using common sense to say, well, if you don't know how to hoe in a garden, then that person shouldn't really work in the garden. We'll just go put that person over there because they know how to do that job. See, you pick the people to put them where they're supposed to go because that's the school they went to. I want to be a cheerleader, so I go to cheerleading school. Well, put her on the team. She should be a cheerleader. To me, it's just stupid the way that our people that we've voted and put in office have fucked us over simply because they want to look better to a certain group of people instead of trying to look good to everyone by trying to help everybody. See, that to me is why we're lost and why we're all drowning, because we can't find our way out, because we've used so many stupid ways to cover up the problems that we made in the past and kick the can down the road for the next group of people and see if they can fix it. But they kept the money, you see. They kept the money. They just didn't fix anything. They just waited for the next person. And then it never got fixed. Now we have someone who's trying to fix stuff and do it legally. And all they do is tell him, well, he's a loser. He hasn't done anything. And look how long it's gone. Okay. But some of the stuff I'm going to share tonight shows a lot of things that they have done. It's just that nobody talks about it. So no one knows about it. But let me bring up this next thing. Sorry, I go on a lot of rants. I can't help myself. But here, this was supposed to go with that terror plot because it was for this event that this gentleman had and helped to do that event. And what a lot of people don't realize, Patriot, why don't you go ahead and tell me what we talked about earlier before we started the show? About
Dana White paid for this all out of his own pocket. He did not charge a price on tickets. He wanted to behave, little butt. Sorry, my cat's being a little butt. Behave.
Cats are good at that.
Oh, yeah. But Dana White he did all this out of his own pocket, and said that he doubt he'll ever be able to pull this off again because he spent $65 million of his own money to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it frustrates me, these idiots out there running around going, "Oh, the American taxpayers spent 65 million just for this thing to make Donald Trump feel good." I'm like, no, that just like the ballroom, the money was raised by private people,
Mm-hmm.
and it's
It's okay.
The ballroom, for instance, is something that has been wanting to be done for over 150 something years.
Mm-hmm.
That they've been trying to get it done. Problem is the money. And you've got people fighting taxpayer money on it. Instead, they'd rather put tents outside that can't be kept secure.
Mm-hmm.
Or go to one of the hotels and do it where security was blatantly bad.
Well, after what happened to Trump in Butler, I can see why he's demanding a little more security, and I don't blame him for that.
Kronos is asking if Trump is paying for it. Donald Trump was able to get a bunch of donations to do it from various people, from various groups, billionaires, millionaires, doesn't matter. Hell, I'll send him $25 if it'll help.
But let me play this real quick because I want you guys to listen to the reporter asking him a question about what happened with this whole thing with the UFC Freedom 250. I want you to hear what Dana says.
You don't think there's a chance the president says, that was good, let's do it again next year?
I can't afford it. There's no fucking way we can do this again. I'll never do the Sphere again, and we'll never do this again.
Because it cost him a shit ton of money. Of his own money. Yes, over $60 million that he paid to have this event. And guess who attended it?
The military.
That's right. It says right here, it says that Dana White and the UFC, under the company TKO, I don't know who that is, but that's what it says, fully funded production of UFC Freedom 250 at the White House South Lawn. The total production cost came to in around $60 million, by far the most expensive event in UFC history, tripling what they spent on the Sphere, and that's what he was talking about. White has said they expected to lose up to $30 million on it. They knew they were going to lose money, but guess what? It was troops that they took to it that were invited. So it was our soldiers are the ones that got to go. So that's what was good about it. It's the fact that just like when we had that whole thing where, I'm sorry about that. Let me close this real quick. The whole thing about that one steak dinner that Hegseth was giving a bunch of his soldiers before they were going to leave. Remember that?
Lobster. That's
and people were throwing a fit. And we had a president right before this one, that told our soldiers, if you don't make enough money, get on food stamps. Those are people that are supposed to put on military gear, go to another country and fight for us, get the wrist blowing up, and we're telling them, get on food stamps. And they're bitching and moaning because they gave them a decent dinner with their families. That's
the lobster and steak dinner. That is a long-standing tradition that goes back.
God, I was so pissed off.
How far it goes back, but it goes so far back that there are people that were in Vietnam talking about getting steak and lobster dinners.
Mm-hmm. I know. I think it's sad that we have people that don't want to see our troops get treated decently. It's disgusting to me. But this next one was a big one. This just happened, and I wanted to share this because I'm so proud of this woman. I think she did an excellent job while she was in there. And I'm heartbroken the fact that we're losing her, but she wants to go and take care of her husband who has cancer. And she's being a good wife because she loves her man. And all I hear is people bitch and moan about how she hated Trump and she couldn't wait to get the fuck out of Dodge and all this shit. And they're the same people that complain, women don't take care of men anymore. Women just want to do this and do that, blah, blah, blah. And here you got a good woman who served her country and she loves her husband and she's taken off from a great job and she's done a kick-ass job to take care of her man because she's a good woman. And it just breaks my heart to hear some of the shit that I've had to hear. And I'm sure she's heard a lot of shit. But I wanted to play this video for you because it's from her own lips about how, and you can just see she's just such a classy, wonderful woman. And I was very proud that she served us. So I just want to play this for all of you. So here we go.
Before the COVID pandemic, Dr. Fauci, as head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, provided millions in U.S. taxpayer dollars to fund dangerous gain-of-function research on bat coronaviruses at the Wuhan Institute of Virology, work which is now widely viewed as the source of the unintentional lab leak that sparked the pandemic. Now, in support of President Trump's maximum transparency mandate, today, on my final day as Director of National Intelligence, I'm releasing never-before-seen communications and documents that expose exactly how Fauci worked with politicized career leadership in the intelligence community to suppress the truth about his actions, the virus's lab leak origins, and his role in directing U.S. funding for this dangerous research that caused immeasurable harm and countless lost lives. Now, these documents expose Fauci's direct role in influencing and manipulating IC assessments on COVID-19 and how Fauci lied to Congress in 2024 when under oath he denied knowledge of or participation in discussions with intelligence officials about viral research. We also received testimony from multiple intelligence community whistleblowers who reported retaliation for challenging the intelligence community's manipulation of intelligence on the virus's origins, once again revealing a clear pattern of suppressing dissent, silencing critics, and burying the truth. Dr. Fauci's close relationships with the intelligence community enabled him to assume three key roles that shield him from scrutiny. First, Dr. Fauci funded dangerous gain-of-function coronavirus research linked to Big Pharma and their pursuit of universal vaccines worth trillions of dollars. Second, Dr. Fauci was the behind-the-scenes advisor who, alongside his hand-picked so-called experts, pushed the intelligence community to endorse a natural animal origin to hide his dangerous gain-of-function research that he funded using taxpayer dollars. All of this in a deliberate attempt to cover up the truth and shift the blame and attention away from Fauci's own actions. Third, Dr. Fauci became the nation's pandemic pundit, and he publicly pushed lies, disinformation, and censorship using every platform available. Now, according to hundreds of reviewed emails, which are included in this release, the intelligence community almost always incorporated Fauci's recommendations. He promoted a fraudulent paper whose publication he helped prompt as legitimate information for intelligence community consideration. Senior analysts praised Dr. Fauci not as a policymaker, but as what they called an unbiased guide to the real coronavirus experts, while deliberately ignoring experts who might dissent from Fauci's narratives. Now, Fauci didn't stop there. He blatantly lied to Congress under oath during his 2024 testimony to the House Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus Pandemic, denying that he ever spoke to any intelligence agency about COVID. Now, the correspondence I'm releasing today directly contradicts his sworn testimony. Now, we received statements from multiple whistleblowers revealing that the intelligence analysts who dared to challenge Dr. Fauci's COVID origin conclusions faced threats of retaliation, marginalization, and many suffered career setbacks. For example, a contractor was terminated just days after coming forward to ODNI as a whistleblower. Another example, those who advocated for the lab leak hypothesis or expressed dissenting views were reminded by their managers that leadership would determine which analysts would be promoted and which would not. The message was clear: go along or be punished. Senior leaders also sought to undermine whistleblowers by removing anonymity, which is required in the whistleblower process, as they made their complaints, and also insisting that their managers or attorneys be present during ODNI meetings where these whistleblowers were coming forward with their testimony, obviously creating an atmosphere of intimidation. The COVID pandemic caused tremendous hardship and pain for millions of our fellow Americans and countless people around the world. Now, after years of lies and censorship and cover-ups, the American people deserve transparency, truth, and accountability. The tactics that were used to hide the truth are straight from the deep state playbook. Politicized, self-serving leaders like Dr. Fauci covered up their own wrongdoing and abuses of power, manipulated intelligence, lied to Congress, and undermined a duly elected president by restricting his access to the vital facts he needed to keep the country safe. It's time you know the truth.
Yes, man, she's kick-ass. She just makes me so proud every time I hear her speak. I mean, she's such a good person, a wonderful person, caring, honest, brave, all the above. And it's not just because she's a woman, has nothing to do with that, really. Well, it does, I guess. But I'm just proud that she was a perfect person to put in the position she was in. And I'm thankful for the amount of time that we were able to have her. And I hope that a few of you are wrong when you say he's never going to see a day in jail. I hope he does. I hope they put handcuffs on him and take him to jail.
He was pardoned by Biden, so he can't be prosecuted.
They're still looking into that because of the whole thing. Last night on the show, I showed 2 signatures on the 2 things that he supposedly signed, and you can clearly tell that on his son's pardon, it looks like a real signature, and the other one looks like the auto pen. So I'm hoping that they can get that.
The only pardons that they've actually been able to prove that he actually signed was the ones for his own family. And all the other pardons were auto pen signings. And if I remember right, the Supreme Court's already said a pardon has to actually be signed by you. The person signing the pardon actually has to sign it. It can't be done with an auto pen. So it's looking like all of those massive amount of pardons that the Biden administration says that he signed, turns out it's auto pen. That's one of the reasons why Trump took the piss out of him by, instead of putting Biden's picture up, he put the picture of the auto pen up on the Hall of Presidents.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I thought that was funny.
And he was so proud of showing that off, man. And I'm like sitting there going, golf clap.
But the thing is, they're still looking into that. And that's why. But the thing is that each thing that comes out and more people see it and absorb the information. So when we do have the chance to be able to see these people go to a trial and all that, the people are like, believe that it's possible that this person did commit this crime. Like the whole thing with the PP dossier and stuff. When you look at people driving down the road, still wearing a mask and getting in line at CVS pharmacy to get another booster. Okay. How do you win with those people? You can't win with people that are already zombies. You can't do anything for these people. But there's still people that, like what you were saying earlier, Richard, that are waking up. They're going, oh my God, I never realized how terrible it was, how much fraud there was, how many criminals we actually had in government. So the fact that people really are talking about it now, and they're allowed to, because people can now talk about stuff on Facebook that they couldn't 3 years ago. They would lose their whole account. I mean, like this app that we're on with X, you know, and the app that we're on right this minute. I've been posting some things on my post area that I'm shocked it's still up there. You know what I mean? I'm just surprised. So
Well,
it's,
okay, you
it's
remember how you
small
said
miracles, but there are miracles happening.
okay, Janet, you remember how you said that you had been getting death threats?
Mm-hmm.
I was
still
getting
do.
death threats on Twitter X a lot, and I would send them to their trust and safety team. I would send them the death threat, and then I would send them in the terms of service where what was just posted to me was classified as a violation of terms of service.
Mm-hmm.
And they refused to classify those death threats as violations of terms of service. And it wasn't until Elon Musk took over and I had posted something about all the death threats that I'd been getting.
Mm-hmm.
And he says I was one of the people that he had sent a message out that included me in this big dang thing saying, hey, if you've gotten these death threats and nobody did something about it, I'm taking care of it today.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, score, you know, and was happy.
Well, it's little, but it's happening. There is
Mhm.
a change. Mm-hmm.
And it's like, and then you had all the lefties get upset that now conservatives were actually able to speak and not get shadow banned or just kicked off the platform. So what did they do? They created Blue Sky, and on Blue Sky, if you said something that somebody didn't like, they threw you off of Blue Sky. And even super lefties like Mark Hamill and Stephen King have had to leave Blue Sky because they weren't far left enough. And I mean, oh man, not again. Come on, Shadow Wanderer. Shadow.
Yeah,
Not until you said it.
I
I
know. So I don't know. I don't understand people, but this next thing is another step in the right direction. And we hear constantly, nobody's getting arrested, nothing's happening, nothing's changing, it's the same, blah, blah, blah. Well, it does happen. It's just that you're not looking in the right places. People send stuff like this right here to me a lot. Lots of pedophiles are being arrested, lots of rapists, lots of fraud people that have been stealing money from veterans, stealing money from the elderly. Lots of stuff is happening. It's just that you aren't seeing it. But if you pay attention and you start looking to see actual stuff that's happening, just because it's not Hillary Clinton yet, or just because it's not another person with a huge name yet, doesn't mean it's not happening. Because I don't care that it's slow. I just want it to happen. And it is happening. And I'm paying attention to it. And I try to share as much of it as I can. But this is great. It says mass arrests have been reported. The DOJ has charged 324 defendants, including 96 medical professionals across 50 federal districts and 12 state attorney general's offices in connection with health care fraud schemes involving 14.6 billion with a B in alleged losses. So here we go. I'm going to play this for you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Matthew Gagliotti, and I'm the head of the Justice Department's Criminal Division. Thank you all for joining us today as we announce the largest coordinated healthcare fraud takedown in the history of the Department of Justice. Today marks a decisive moment in our fight to protect American taxpayers from fraudsters and to defend the integrity of America's healthcare system. We are announcing today charges against 324 defendants for their alleged participation in healthcare fraud schemes involving approximately $14.6 billion in false claims submitted to Medicare, Medicaid, and other healthcare programs. Good morning, everyone.
Okay.
My name.
That right there. If we can stop this kind of shit, then people like us, when we need Medicaid or Medicare or any of those things, there'll actually be money there. Okay. I hear constantly, there's not going to be any Social Security. There's not going to be this. There's not going to be that. Well, the reason there's not and why it's so tight is because of this kind of shit. Okay. Because we have criminals in there going, eating everybody's tax dollars so that all the money you put in, you don't get shit out of it. Okay. Well, guess what? With this happening and they're stopping it, the money's going back in the coffers. That means when it's your turn, you should have something there. But unless we arrest these people and put them in jail, when are you going to stop complaining about every single thing? The thing is, somebody's doing something finally. Okay. You should be doing this instead of fuck you. I don't have enough money. Okay. That's the problem. We need to root on the people that are fighting for us and say fuck you to the people that are stealing the money. That's the problem. Start being happy that somebody's doing something.
I've got to take a moment.
Yeah.
For somebody in the chat asked me to say something. Give me one moment.
Okay.
Get back up here to it. So I can say this right. And Bruce Lombardo says, I just want to hear Spake say, I like green screens. There you go. Hold on, and I will give you my address so you can send me my endorsement check.
Oh darn. I'll play that video I just put out there too.
Oh man.
You guys.
Hey, just for that, you have to help me and my crew get me to Skywalker Ranch so we can sneak my butt on to where they think I'm actually George Lucas, just so we can go and steal the Millennium Falcon so we can get the hell off this planet.
Yeah.
But you know what? I can see it now. I've talked to you a few times and I never would have said that.
I didn't even notice it until someone said it.
Me either. That's what I'm saying, but I do now. I
Right.
definitely could say that. Wow, you do look like him. And not in a mean way, but I'm just not focused on that type of thing for some reason.
That is funny.
But it is great. I mean, heck, I think it's great to look like a famous person.
Yeah, especially considering the fact you're now drafted into the whole operation. Get the hell out of here, to where we're gonna get enough people together to where we can become my George Lucas entourage to sneak on to Skywalker Ranch to steal the Millennium Falcon. And if you're nice enough, you can ride with us when we get the hell off the planet.
Well, Bruce made me watch that movie. I can't remember the name of it right this second. We did a review on the movie about all the guys that went on to the ranch to try to get something. I can't remember what it was. Tickets to see a movie or something, to see the movie before it was released or whatever it was. It was a while back, but that was a lot of fun. And it was a fun movie to review, but I hadn't seen it. I hadn't seen the movie before. If it hadn't been for Bruce. Oh, Fanboys. That's what it was. It was hilarious. We laughed our butts off. It was a fun review. But yeah, you do look like him. I think it's awesome now that I know it, but I didn't before that. But yeah, little bits of things like that are happening every day. I'm seeing hundreds and hundreds of arrests of people that are trafficking kids. They're saving kids every day. Every week I'm seeing that. And I share it on my shows. It's just that, you don't
out
see it.
Operation Underground Railroad.
Mm-hmm.
They made a movie about Ballard, the guy who created it, the Sound of Freedom.
Yeah.
Operation Underground Railroad. I've been sending them money since the day they announced their start on the Glenn Beck program when he was still on Fox.
Mm-hmm.
And it's messed up when you actually have people who kept saying, "Oh, that's not true. It's not real." And the Sound of Freedom became extremely popular in South America, Central America, Indonesia, the places where the child trafficking is such a it's not an epidemic, it's a pandemic down there. And that's where it made the most money because it was telling the truth and the people who lived there knew it. And they supported it and they were saying maybe the people in Europe and the United States will finally do something about it. And so if you guys don't make donations and stuff to causes you believe in, please check out Operation Underground Railroad.
Yeah, one of the ones I've had a few guests on my show from the Shepherd's Watch Foundation. And I've had those videos taken down because of the stuff we talk about. And that's all they do is they save kids from being trafficked here in the United States. And it's just funny how lopsided it is about you can't say certain words because it's if they're a member of MAMBLA, that stuff like that they'd want to defend those people. So it's like okay, whatever. So you have to be really clever about how you say things.
That's one of the things that it's one of the reasons why I enjoy having my Rumble channel, where I don't have to censor myself like I do on YouTube. And whenever I do deep dives on controversial subjects, it's always a Rumble exclusive. And my co-hosts are always reminding me, Richard, we're on Rumble. You don't have to censor yourself. So I will drop some F-bombs whenever I get really, really agitated about some of this stuff and I tell it like it is, because there's certain things. I'm a pretty easygoing guy. I try to stay level-headed, try not to lose my cool. Before I died, the 5 times I died, my family used to say I was very hot-headed. But after dying 5 times and being sent back, I became more mellow. But that's mainly because what I saw on the other side and the fact I wanted to stay there. I felt safe, loved, and at home, and I didn't want to leave it. But the man with kind eyes kept telling me, nope, you got to go back. I'm not done with you yet. He wouldn't tell me why he was sending me back. Then when I finally get to go, we're going to have words about that, because all he would tell me, oh, there's something only you can do. What can only I do? But that's beside the point. But I try not to lose my cool, because I believe that if you can keep a level head and try to get your words out, express what it is you're thinking in a way that other people can understand it, and understand you're not filled with hate like you've been accused of all these years. That we're coming from this from a place of love. It's like, I love Star Trek. I love Star Wars. I love Doctor Who. I love Stargate. Pop culture is my thing. I am a movie fanatic. I love going to the movies and watching movies. I love watching TV. I love watching my cartoons. I love reading comic books. I love to read books. I love this stuff because, to me, the pop culture helps you understand the people themselves. Because, like Breitbart said, pop culture is downstream from politics, and politics is downstream from pop culture. They feed off of each other. And it's so upsetting when I see people accuse us of being hateful. because we don't like what we're seeing going on in pop culture, how they keep putting out these really, really bad storylines that all it is them hitting check boxes. They're not telling a good story. They're focused on the message over everything else. And we've got to stop that because it's destroying pop culture. I don't know in 5 years if we're still going to have movie theaters because they keep putting out movies that are bombing. People aren't going to go see them. And that used to be one of the few places where you could go with a whole bunch of other people and share that experience of seeing this movie on the big screen together with a whole bunch of strangers. And then as you're leaving, you're like going, oh my God, that was so good. And a lot of times you make friends that way.
I think that when they did the whole COVID thing, they knew that it was going to close down movie theaters because maybe they felt like too many in Hollywood had too much sway. So if they closed down the theaters and they only let people watch it through streaming services, that they'd have a little more, the people in charge, I mean, would have a little more leeway on making sure they could make sure the content was what they approved. See what I mean? Because independent movies don't go down streaming services hardly. They end up going to, a few theaters here and a few theaters there. So I think a lot of this goes hand in hand together.
Like Sound of Freedom.
Same people.
Sound
Yeah.
of Freedom sat on the shelf for over 5 years because Disney bought the company that had made it and they shelved it. And it took because Diesel and the producers and the director going to Disney and buying it back. And they created Angel Studios to distribute it. And then Disney throttled them, saying that you had to put their movies on something like triple the screens that were showing the Sound of Freedom. And the Sound of Freedom was sold out. They had waiting lists to get a ticket to go see Sound of Freedom, while the Disney movie was sitting empty.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that's so frustrating, all because it went against the message that was being pushed. And oh God, it just really frustrates me.
Well, I understand that, but the thing is, it's getting better.
Yes, it is.
It's getting better and better and better. And as long as we don't quit and we just keep pushing the narrative, it will get better because more and more people are going to accept the difference.
It's like I say whenever I'm closing down my live streams. We need to go out. I do, you do, everybody in the chat, listen carefully. Go out there into the world and be the positive change you want to see. Go do it in such a way that people, just regular observers, are going to look at you and go, oh man, he's doing something good. Or she is doing something good. Look at them. They're happy. I'm not happy. I want that. Do it in such a way you're inspiring others to do the same thing, to be a positive change in the world. That's how we're going to make this world a better place, is by doing that. Share what we love about these things. Don't talk about why it's bad, why Starfleet Academy sucked. No. Tell people why you love Star Trek. Make sure that love is in there. Tell people why you love Star Wars. Let them see the love. When people see what you love, they can't help but to see it and feel it too, and then want to go and check it out. Watch the old stuff and see, oh my God, that is a heck of a lot better than this. Oh my God, the original series really was showing the differences. It wasn't as one-sided, bigoted as we've been told it was. That's how we fix it. And sorry, I'm rambling.
No, it's okay. I do the same thing. It's because you're passionate about it, and that's what's good about us doing this. Because when you show the passion you have for something, other people become passionate. Also, that's when they want to help. See, whether it's animals or kids or farmland or the wildlife, lakes. I mean, there's something for everyone out there, and there's a job for everyone out there to protect whatever it is that they love and want to make sure. Movies, old movies, music, real music, not all AI, all the different things. And the only way people will find out about it is if we talk about it and we share it. And it can't all be hate. You have to talk about it, just like you said, the good things about it. Why do I love it? Why do I want to do this? Why do you want to do this? And why do you want to share it with others? See, that's the important part. But this kind of stuff right here, even the bad stuff, when we share it and we talk about it, and then other people, someone else may not have heard of it.
Yep.
So that's another reason why we do it. But I remember way back when I was first on a show with Drew Taylor, and we started, and that's when I got the bug for politics, basically. And it was when I first got started getting invited to more and more shows. And I didn't really do anything at all, because the only thing I did was shorts, because I was up from TikTok. That's where I started doing stuff. It was fun, and I was meeting more and more people. I was hanging out in Klobby's chat talking about Star Trek, and I was meeting so many people, and I was loving all of it because I felt so welcomed by everyone. They didn't seem to care that I was a nerd or what I was like or whatever. They accepted me. So that's how I felt, and that's what I tried to do with others, because I thought, wow, I finally am somewhere where I belong. That's how I felt. So I'm loving it. I'm still loving it. I'm loving it more and more every week. This is my social life. This is what I do. I don't go anywhere anymore. I just stay home and I'm on my computer, but it's okay. But I remember way back when I was with Drew on his channel doing different shows, and he got the chance to go to January 6th. Okay. And I remember all the live streams from different people that were able to go to different things leading up to January 6th and then January 6th. And then talking about, look, I'd seen people, they were dressed as Antifa people. Then all of a sudden they went over in this group. They're all changing into Trump supporter clothes, all this kind of stuff. Something big's about to happen. And people were freaking out, and you could feel the tension. It was so thick, you cut it with a knife, sitting and watching live streams. It was really tense and scary. But we knew something wasn't good, because we had common sense, and this kind of stuff that's finally coming out. And that's why during January 6th, they were confiscating everyone's phones and stuff, because they didn't want you to have evidence. They didn't want you to have proof to prove that people were on the inside doing things, pushing people. One of my friends on X that I met way back when Spaces first started, and I call him American. That's his name on X. We were talking about watching these videos from January 6th and watching how the Capitol Police moved the barricades so that it would open up areas to go straight to the Capitol. And then they throw flashbangs to push people in the other direction towards the Capitol. All the different things, one by one, that was lining up to show how they were pushed that way, because they were wanting something to happen. And that when people were walking along, when they're live streaming with their cameras on their selfie sticks and stuff, and you could look on the ground, and there were pieces of wood that you could use as a weapon, just laying in piles here and there, bricks, rocks, all these different things. And it was like, somebody put all this stuff here, knowing there were people were going to be pushing people down this way. It just, it was like they were laying out a smorgasbord for criminals. But guess what? The people weren't criminals. They were patriots. That's why you see them with flags, walking through the red ropes, doing all the things that criminals don't do. But there were a few people that broke windows and pushed things over, tried to, hit cops. But the more and more videos that I watch, the more and more I'm seeing this kind of person is the one.
You want to hear something funny about Jan 6?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I'm a cripple.
Mhm.
I state this right up front. I'm a broken down cripple who, thanks to a TBI, I'm no longer allowed to drive. So if I go somewhere, it's because somebody takes me. Now, after January the 6th, they were going after people. I made the sarcastic comment on Twitter, X, and Facebook that, yeah, I was at January 6th. A couple of days later, there was a knock at my door. Woke my ass up, go to the door, open it up. It says here you made a post that you were at January 6th.
Mm-hmm.
I was being sarcastic. I can't go anywhere unless somebody takes me, and nobody was willing to take me. Oh, are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Go ask the VA. Slam. There's just, oh yeah, Angus is right. They actually showed the video of the police escorting him through the doors and all the way in, stopping several times to pray with the police officers, and then them taking him into the Senate chamber where he says, "We need to be." Oh man.
Yeah, there's tons of it, but they were trying to sequester all the stuff they didn't want people to see, all the stuff that showed a totally different point of view of it. And then, and people were sitting in jail without any due process at all. But where were the civil rights people then? See, it's lopsided. And that's what we're trying to work on. That's what I feel Trump is trying to fix.
One of the people that they arrested at the very start was talking about the fact that they kept moving him around. So his lawyer couldn't get with him. His family couldn't get with him. There were times where he was literally sleeping on a concrete floor in a broom closet, that whenever they would chain him up, he had to get used to doing this and throwing his sandwich up in the air and taking a bite out of it. That was the only way they'd let him eat. And oh God, the things that they did to him and other Jan 6 people. There were people that they arrested for being there at Jan 6 that were on chemo and cancer treatments and stuff of this nature, that they refused to let them have their medical care, and they died because of it.
That's crazy.
And
I know it is, but look what happened with Tina Peters. The same type of treatment, locked up simply because she was trying to tell the truth.
And there was several.
Who would any of you, either one of you guys sitting up here with me, would you have ever believed that the country that you grew up as a kid would ever do that to people in America?
No, this is the country I fought for. That I left blood, sweat, and tears on foreign soil for. That I am still to this day willing to die for. And it did this to our people. And Angus says roughly about 40,000 hours of the January 6th footage on all the different cameras was removed digitally from the people's phones. Yeah. And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
That's just the ones we know about.
And when the Speaker of the House released all that stuff, you actually had chuckleheads at CNN and MSNBC saying, you can't read this stuff or you can't view this stuff because you won't understand it.
Well, see, if you just played this right here for somebody and it'd make people ask questions. Well, what's going on? Why is he doing that? You see what I mean? So that's why people should see it, because when a police officer wears a vest with a camera on it and he has a dash cam on his car, okay, and then things unfold and you see the guys get out of the car in front of him with weapons and come charging at him and stuff, and then somebody gets shot, it's more than likely a slam dunk case, just like a family who has a doorbell cam and there's 3 hoodlums kicking in the door, breaking in, then you hear gunshots and you see one of them fall, and they can't say, well, they killed him in cold blood on his front porch and they weren't doing anything. See, you know what I'm saying?
Have you seen the
Video saves people.
Have you seen the bricks and minifigs debacle with the America Fork Police there in Utah? And the fact that they have look up American Fork Police Department, police brutality, and then bricks and minifigs. The America Fork Police is either the most corrupt small town police department or the most criminally undertrained and incompetent police in the entire country. There was this one guy that they went after. He was literally, they said, get on the ground, get on the ground. He was on the ground with his hands up, following what they were saying. And this other cop comes up behind him and blindsides him and tackles him to the ground. And they start attacking this guy while he's on the ground, begging them to stop beating the shit out of him. And they turned his face into a bloody mess and kept shooting him with their tasers.
And that's all on cameras, right?
Yes, it's all on camera.
See, cameras, a lot of people bitch them on and say they infringe on our rights, but the thing is, if you have a dash cam on a vehicle and you have a camera on your vest that you can't turn off, that's turned on as soon as you put it on and it's locked in place and it's all taken care of at the office or however they do that, there's nothing he can do. He can't cover up what he's doing. Now, if he takes his vest off and goes and do something, you can't do anything about that. But then his boss can say, why'd you take off your vest? What was going on? You see what I mean?
The whole thing with the bricks and minifigs stuff, the American Fork Police would turn off the sound recording. They actually had, Reckless Ben is a YouTuber, gonzo journalist who was investigating the theft of a $200,000 collection of Star Wars Legos that went back to the very start of Star Wars Legos. And they were there, but he was there with a process server to deliver the legal documents for a lawsuit. And the guy did not want to accept the papers, so he called the police and made threats. Police show up. They confront the process server and Reckless Ben. The process server shows, yes, I'm a process server. Shows ID, shows the paperwork. One of the police officers takes the papers, goes and checks, and finds out from the clerk of courts that, yes, that's a legal official lawsuit, and the papers need to be delivered. Anybody that knows anything about law enforcement knows the moment that paper hit that cop's hands, he was bound by law to walk up to this chucklehead that's supposed to be served to and says, you've been served. But guess what that cop didn't do? Didn't do that. No, he turned around, went back out there, and arrested Reckless Ben. Then they had camera video of them harassing him multiple times where they just pulled him over saying, oh, you ran a red light. No, I didn't. Yeah, you did. And then them ripping his car apart for several hours looking for heroin. And then they raided the bread and breakfast where him and his staff were staying and nearly ripping his arm out of socket when they seized his camera phone from him, because they said, these are all YouTubers. We've got to seize their cameras because they're going to be filming us when we get in there. we're going to be doing another deep dive onto the whole thing because the America Fork Police Department's corruption is so bad that the locals in that town, every time that there's been a town hall meeting, they have been a long line of them getting up and saying, we're scared of our police department. We're scared of our police department. They've been engaged in police brutality, and they've got all of these police brutality cases that the police department has lost massive amounts of money.
Mm-hmm.
And the cops that were involved in these police brutality cases didn't get fired. In fact, one of them got promoted to lieutenant just recently.
Wow,
And
that's amazing.
It's why I call it a debacle, because that's what it is.
Well, it is there, and thank God it's on camera. See,
Yeah.
Because it would be their word against theirs. Because I did a case, I played this trial live on my channel because I got permission to do it during the case, and it was a sentencing phase because the guy pled because he knew they had everything on camera because he was a FedEx driver, and he picked up a 6-year-old girl and he murdered her in the truck, Athena Strand, and it took 4 years for it to get to court when he got sentenced to he got the death penalty. But the thing is, if the truck didn't have a camera outside that showed where he was at and what he was doing, and a camera on the inside of the cab with sound and showing him putting her in the back and what was going on with her, and you could hear what she was saying to him and all that, the whole horrible, terrible thing that happened, it had been, they probably never would have got this guy, and who knows how many other kids he would have got. So everyone can complain and gripe about cameras and stuff like that, but if it's in public and if it's a public use vehicle or public, and the thing is, the cameras proved to the prosecutor that he was looking for a kid. It wasn't at first. It wasn't her. It was some other girl the day before because they had it on camera, and because the mom and the dad came out to greet him, that was the reason why she didn't get taken. Yeah. So the thing is, I am all for cameras being in trucks like that, to think about all the people that drove by that FedEx truck while it was on the side of the road while he was doing what he was doing for over an hour, to this girl begging for him to let her go and begging for her mama. It was horrible. And to know that all those people just driving by, and then the next day, because he was supposed to be delivering Christmas presents, when he pulls up the same road where he didn't deliver the packages, and you got all these hundreds and hundreds of cars blocking the road, and he's like honking his horn, and this lady comes over and she's like, you can't go down this road, we're looking for a lost little girl. And he's like, well, I have stuff to deliver. And she said, well, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to find another way to get around there. And he's all pissed off, and he's the reason why all those people are out there looking for that little girl. It's disgusting. And the fact that this guy gets to breathe, to me, is wrong and sad. And we have a lot of bad things going on in this country. And that's why when I see these arrests because of Trump, I've never saw this under Biden, because Trump's first administration, he was out there arresting pedophiles and rapists and traffickers and all that, tons of them. I was watching them because I have friends that are involved in this. That's what they do. Okay. And to see all these arrests, and I was happy just saying, yeah, get rid of these people, that kind of stuff. And now it's happening again, but people are still griping about, this one case, this one case. What about all the wins? That's what we need. People need to see all the good stuff that's happening with them too, not just the one name that we want to see or that one person over there. Be happy that something's getting done under this administration, because it wasn't last time. I didn't see nothing. So that's what I think is great about it. But let me get to this video I want to share with everyone from January 6th, showing Antifa, like we talked about, the live streams of our friends on YouTube saying and telling us during live streams, they're changing clothes, they're doing this, and they came and took it off their phones. They made them delete it and stuff like that, or took their phone from them, confiscated it. So it was a mess, and a lot of us knew that something big was about to happen before it did, because of the way that people were reacting to the people around them. So here we go. I'm going to open this up, make it bigger. Here we go.
He's getting his disguise on.
Okay, so I'm going to wear a mask underneath the mask. Okay.
Just for a little extra protection, because this very well may be a super spreader kind of thing.
You should wear this.
Oh God.
Here, this is your mask.
Oh my God, the America mask. I might take this America beanie too, because this Trump 2020 hat, hard to stomach. I might wear it backwards, so I don't have to be too heavy.
Dude, I'm not fucking with you. You gotta blend in. I'm absolutely not kidding. You need to have an identifier. They won't trust you unless there's a visual, like there's something visual.
What do we think, folks? Do we trust this is a Trump supporter? There is an imposter among us.
I mean, you could also wear this.
Yeah, the America hat might be my move, but we'll see. I'll bring them both in my backpack, so we've got them prepped.
All right, and then we've got Fox News, OAN,
CNN. We're ready to.
We're ready.
I don't know if we're committing crimes doing this, but like we're.
Are you insinuating that I don't work for all three of these companies simultaneously?
I am at least a little bit insinuating that.
See, they look at them, how joyous they are. They're so happy to be pulling the wool over people's eyes, to be lying to everyone while they're walking around. It's scary and sad that there's people like this right now, just waiting to pull their next stunt on people that are trusting. Yeah, and it's really sad to me. It's scary. Just like what we saw that day with that church, where those people broke into that church and were threatening people in church, in their sanctuary, because they thought there was a ICE agent in there, you know? And they feel justified. I have the right to slam your God and to slam you because you're asshole Christians, or whatever it is that they think, but they feel they're bigger than you. They know better than you. And every time I see this shit, all I think about is Hillary Clinton when she's talking about it takes a village to raise a child. You're too dumb to do it, so we have to help you. You know, that attitude makes me just want to slap somebody. You know, it just makes me so angry. And that's this attitude right here that we're seeing with these people.
Well, Don Lemon got into. I still think Don Lemon should have went to jail for that.
I don't know. Isn't that still like pending to go to trial or whatever? Some of those people, because I know they arrested like 11 or 12 people.
Don Lemon, from what last I heard, they dropped the charges against him, but all the other people that led the protest.
Oh, because he was a journalist. I remember that now. I remember that.
The thing is, Don Lemon saying, "I'm just a journalist. I wasn't involved," even though he was. He actually showed up early because he knew it was going to happen, and brought them Coke and not Coke, but coffees and donuts and all this other shit.
Yeah.
So they'd have it when everybody got there and passed it out, and was part of the planning of how they were going to storm the church. And they recorded the whole thing of him breaking the law.
Mm-hmm.
And the district attorney, the prosecutors and everything said, "No, we're not going to prosecute you."
Well, this is another thing that, remember the whole thing with John Bolton when they raided his house?
Yes.
Okay. For this whole thing that I'm about to play, it ties directly into the John Bolton classified document case with potential Espionage Act violations. Okay, so listen to this.
Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche said to the media, asking about DOJ investigating the leaking of classified information, prosecuting leakers who share our nation's secrets with reporters, in turn risking our national security and the lives of our soldiers, is a priority for this administration. Any witness, whether a reporter or otherwise, who has information about these criminals should be Should not be surprised if they receive a subpoena. Also, right here, America Pulse News said breaking. Disgraced former Vice President Mike Pence and his top aides, Olivia Troy and Mark Short, are in serious legal trouble after being criminally implicated in the classified documents espionage case involving John Bolton. Pence is accused of being the main White House leaker during Trump's first term, using his staff to leak top secret information he thought would hurt Trump to the mainstream media, which now has them all facing potential Espionage Act violations. The fly was right all along on the head of Mike Pence. There were rats and moles deep inside President Trump's inner circle the whole time. This is more proof of the swamp that never stopped trying to destroy Trump from within.
Yep.
Wow, that is amazing. The thing is, it's trickling out. Okay, little here, little there, little more, because there's different groups of people that are doing the investigating. It's not all one group. You got one person at the head of the FBI, but then you got all these FBI agents around the United States doing this part, doing that, doing this, and then you got people looking into fraud, and you got people looking into Medicaid fraud, and then you got people looking into this kind of fraud, and Social Security fraud, and all the stuff. And it all started with the USAID, and then also the Doge stuff. And I was trying to keep up with it, and then they had the stuff coming out with the Epstein files being released, so you could go to their website and look at all these files, and some of them were just sick stuff, emails, and just reading all of it. It's a lot of stuff to do, and you have to have basically an office of people to just go through all this shit. There's tons of it, and I can see why it's taking so long. It takes a long time to go through file after file after file and read and watch videos and listen to transcribed phone calls and all kinds of shit. There's just so much stuff, and that's why I'm trying to be patient. And everybody that says something's going to be done right now, and I go, why? Obama had 2 terms. Clinton had what, 1 or 2 terms, and then you have Biden had his 1 term. So that's a lot of years of information to go through, and who knows what else they have to add to that. You know what I mean?
But also, you got to remember is it takes a while to build your case.
Yeah,
because you've got to
stick.
You've got to document everything. You've got to get all your ducks in a row. You got to make sure all the witnesses are able to be heard. And that's one of the things about my family has a lot of law enforcement involved in it. And by that, I mean, Dad did volunteer firefighting, volunteer law enforcement as an auxiliary officer at Lake Lure. He was one of the founders of the Hickory Nut Gorge EMS. And through him, I ended up having a lot of adopted uncles. The sheriff of Rutherford County was Uncle Roy to me. And I had brothers from another mother, because they would stop at my mom and dad's house in the middle of the night, sit around our kitchen table doing their paperwork while mom would make them something to eat and coffee, because there was no 24-hour places in this area at the time. So we had county mounties as well as local police and a couple of state troopers that would stop in at night to hang out with my parents, so they'd have a place to fill out their paperwork instead of sitting in their car doing it. When I was in elementary school, we lost 3 officers in one day. In less than an hour and a half's time, we lost 3 officers, one of which was one of my adopted uncles. I still remember that day because right after it happened, they had police officers from North and South Carolina showing up and getting on the buses with us, because there was a police officer with a shotgun standing right there beside the bus driver. And then there was a police car in front of that bus and a police car behind that bus. And we stayed on that bus until our parents got us off the bus. So
Yeah.
I remember this stuff. And growing up, knowing police officers, knowing detectives, learning how they do their job, how they have to go over stuff multiple times before they can even really go to their bosses with the information, who then goes over it with a fine-tooth comb and says, okay, this is ready to be taken to the prosecutor.
Mm-hmm.
And there are cases that are still open 20 years later that they're still investigating, even though they've got hardcore evidence proving who did it. But because they can't get all their T's crossed and their I's dotted, and make sure all the witnesses are lined up to be able to do something about it. That's why this takes so bloody long.
Yeah.
Is because our system was set up. It was better that 1,000 guilty go free than one innocent person suffer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why our system is different from every other system on the planet. And it frustrates me when people keep forgetting that. They want instant gratification. Even conservatives have gotten to a point to where they want that instant gratification. They don't want to look at it that we need to make sure before we even get to court, we've got the right person in the docket standing before that judge. Especially when just the accusation alone can ruin a person's life. It's like with SA or kitty diddling. Just the accusation can destroy a person's life. Okay, I'm in North Carolina. Do you remember the Duke lacrosse rape scandal?
Yep. When she accused all of them and they all lost their scholarships and everything.
Yes, and there were men that had graduated from college years before that had been part of the Duke lacrosse program that to this day cannot get jobs in the United States or Europe because their name was associated with the Duke lacrosse team. They've got jobs in Asia, and they're told, even though they are fluent in Mandarin Chinese and Cantonese and Vietnamese and Japanese, to act like they don't know the language. So they can sit there during they say, this is my job during the day. Take this piece of paper over here to this guy. Here you go. Oh, thank you. Now he then takes it to that guy. Here you go. And then he takes that piece of paper and goes and hands it back to the original guy. That's their day job. Their real job is to go to these big business parties and be laughed at by these guys going, oh, the Americans think they're so awesome, that their system works so great. These guys didn't even do nothing, and they can only get jobs here just because the accusation destroyed their reputations back home. That's the situation that those guys are in. And
no, it's terrible.
And false accusations, all the feminazis keep saying, oh, that's so very rare. There was a guy that spent 19 years in a prison here in North Carolina because his ex-wife said that he had did horrible things to his son while he was on the other side of the planet.
Yeah.
He couldn't have physically done it, but he still spent close to 20 years in a prison because the judge and the prosecutor threw the book at him, and then they stopped any attempts at appeals because the prosecutor used it to get a judgeship. And he used his position as a judge to stop any attempts at appeals for this guy. If it wasn't for his own son fighting for that damn near 20 years to get him out of prison, he'd probably still be in prison. And the Duke lacrosse case, Lifong, I think was his name. that prosecutor got disbarred and thrown in prison because they had proof that he knew that the woman was lying, and he went out of his way to cover up that she was lying about it. So
I know, but to see, that's what I'm saying. Anyone who goes out purposely lies to get even with someone because they're jealous, because they got a better job, or they're more attractive, or whatever it is, it hurts all of us. Because one day when it's your problem because something really happened to you, and you've been out there doing the whole thing. What was it my mom always called it? Was something about crying wolf all the time. And what happens after a while when you cry wolf, no one comes because they don't believe you anymore. You're so busy lying. Okay. And that's where we are right now. We have so many people that just wander around, and a huge scandal or something happens and everybody just goes, and they walk off because nothing is as big as the next thing. You know, everything has got to be so elaborate and huge before anybody even turns to even look. I mean, when a person like that woman in California, she's being stabbed to death on her front porch, and she's screaming at the top of her lungs. She got stabbed like 40 something times, and people were standing in the on the street, you know, on the sidewalk, just watching this guy stab her to death. And then finally, some guy down the road, he's up on a pole. He scrambles down the thing and runs and jumps the guy and stops it. But people will rather pull out their cell phone and videotape someone getting their shit kicked out of them than to try to do anything to help them. Because, I don't want to get involved, but yeah, I want to put it on my channel. You know, it's pathetic. We're losing humanity. We're losing caring. You know, it's sad when you can see a commercial on TV where they're fighting, send us money to save the turtles, you know, all this stuff. But people are raping and killing kids right down the street, and nobody gives a shit. It's disgusting. That's where we are. That's why all of this stuff means so much to me, because I want to go back to where neighbors mattered. You know, the elderly matters. Opening the door for somebody, whether it's a man or a woman or a kid, but you took the time out of your few seconds of your life to open the door for someone, or to say good morning or hi, hope you're having a good day. Something, you know, interaction, human interaction, that we're people, that we're set apart from robots because we have compassion and understanding. But why does anyone care about AI when everyone acts like AI? You just walk around like a comatose zombie with your phone. You know, that's it. That's, you go to a restaurant, you walk in, and everyone's sitting there looking at their phones instead of conversing over dinner. You know, it's sad. I mean, that's why they want to get rid of the movie theaters. What happens at movie theaters? People go in, are all excited. They're getting popcorn. They're talking about the movie. They're real excited. They're interacting with each other. They watch a movie and then they leave and they're like, wow, that was great. And they're all talking, interacting with each other. That's what they don't want. Because if you're at home doing this, you're not doing anything with anyone else. You're easily controlled. That's why the whole thing, to me, all is piling up on it, because that's what they want. They want you to be by yourself or at a strip bar. Now, a strip bar is different, because when you're at a strip bar, you're just sitting there staring at a woman stripping in front of you. You're not conversing with people. See? Yeah.
You're watching.
In church, what are you doing? You're conversing with people in the church. That's why they had to close the churches, because they don't want you to do that. They just want you to be a zombie. Go into the liquor store, buy the booze, then go down the street to the totally nude bar, take your bottle you just bought, because they can't serve alcohol to you, right? Because it's a nude bar, and then get drunk off your ass while you're looking at a woman strip. You're not talking to nobody and doing shit but getting drunk. See, that's what they want. They want people that they're easily controlled, because if I stop him from getting alcohol, he's going to do what I tell him to get more. See, that's how they do that.
True. But
let me
at a strip club, you're watching something awesome.
Maybe not. But this next thing I thought was pretty interesting. This whole thing with Trump at the G7 thing in France. I don't know if all of you has heard this or not, but I wanted to share this. It's a 3-minute thing, but I think it's really interesting. Here we go.
What Obama did was he did the JCPOA. He loaded up a plane with $1.7 billion in green cash from banks all over Washington, Maryland, and Virginia. They were stripped of all their cash. They had no cash to do payrolls. It all went into a Boeing 757, a wonderful plane, and they flew it to Iran. And they gave it out to people. They bribed people. They thought they were going to get it done. Then they gave billions and billions of dollars after that. And they got a deal that was a road to a nuclear weapon. I get so angry, I guess. I'm allowed to get angry when I watch the Democrats. They talk about it all the time. We had this deal done. You had a deal that was going to give them legally a nuclear weapon. And if that happened, Israel would have been blown away. And in all fairness to Bibi Netanyahu, who happens to be a good man, gets a little excited sometimes. But he happens to be a very good man. We've had an amazing partnership. He's been an amazing prime minister. We have a little dispute over Lebanon. I say, you can do a little softer touch, Bibi. You don't have to knock down a building every time somebody walks into it that's from Hezbollah. But it's been an amazing partnership. But he will say, we're the big partner and he's the very small partner, and that's true. So he came to the country and he begged Barack Hussein Obama, the president, not to do the JCPOA. He said it could be the end of Israel, and it would have been if I didn't come along. And Obama didn't listen to him. Bibi actually went to Congress and pleaded with them, and he got nowhere. And they had this horrible deal that was horrible for Israel, and that's where it stood. And then I came along and I terminated that deal. It had very little time left. It was a short-term deal. With countries, you need hundreds of years. You don't need 8 years and 9 years. This isn't like you're signing a lease on a candy store in the corner. You need hundreds of years. This was a short-term lease. It expired long ago. Had I let it run, it expired. You wouldn't have been around. A lot of people wouldn't have been around. But Israel would have been terminated. I think the whole Middle East would have been terminated. You saw that when everybody was shocked that all these missiles, they were aimed at these different places. Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE. Think of it. Bahrain, Kuwait. They got hit. Nobody thought that was, even I didn't think it was going to happen. They didn't think it was going to happen. They were going to take out the entire Middle East, including Israel. And if they had a nuclear weapon, they would have used it within moments after getting it. So I made it very tough for them when I terminated the Barack Hussein Obama catastrophe. JCPOA, one of the worst deals. NAFTA might have been worse, but that was worse economically. This deal was really dangerous, what he did.
Well, so did any of you guys get to watch him give this speech when he was there?
Nope. I don't.
Okay.
I saw some of it, I thought, but
Okay, I did. I saw some of it, and I saw little bits here, little bits there. None of it was good because the narratives they take is like, see, he's doing this just for Israel. Everything he's doing is just for Israel. Well, see, I didn't see that when I listened to the whole thing. All I was thinking was, you could tell that Trump was really worried about this whole thing when he found out all of the stuff about what was done and all that money. Remember, we all were talking about it. Everyone was whispering about the pallets of cash in the middle of the night. Is he paying to get prisoners out? Is he dealing with kidnappers? Because remember, I remember my mom talking about a lot about what happened when one of these countries had taken a bunch of prisoners, I guess, from the Olympics or something. And Ronald Reagan was about to be in office. And she said that Ronald Reagan said, well, if you still have those people when I'm in there, you're not going to exist anymore, basically. And that they let him go because they believed him. They believed that he said, you're gone. I'm going to take you out. And you can't, my mom always told me, you can't deal with terrorists. Because if you give money to these people, they're just going to keep taking more and more people.
Well, remember,
and it doesn't work.
In the Middle East, it's one of those places where bluster is their big thing. They expect the bluster. I'm going to do this if you don't do what I tell you.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the reasons why George W. Bush scared the bejesus out of them, was they were so used to us just shaking a big stick and talking big and not doing shit. But then when George W. went in there and said, if you don't stop, I'm coming in there and I'm going to kick your ass. Oh, yeah, right. And then, boom, door gets kicked in. He goes in there. He starts throttling some people. And it's like, boom, boom. And everybody else is like going, oh, shit. And you saw what did Gaddafi do? Here's my nuke program. I'll be good. Here's my nukes. Here's the nukes. Yep. Here you go. I'm going to be good. I'll be a good boy. Don't spank my PP with the metal ruler. I'll be good.
Yep. But it does work. And that's what my mother always said. She said peace through strength. Because if they believe that when you say, I'm going to come in there and I'm going to kick your ass, then they're going to listen to you. But if it's like your teenager and that every time they steal from your purse or take cigarettes from you and you just say, I'm gonna ground you, but you never do anything, they're just going to keep doing it.
Yep.
And that's what you're seeing. I'm seeing it in all these cities, all these people that are told, don't do that. And then they leave, and then they burn and loot and pillage the place, and then they say that was bad. You shouldn't have done that. And then we're supposed to go in, the rest of us, and bail out the state because they're so far in debt and they have so much repairs they have to do and stuff, all because they did it. They set it up to fail, and then we're supposed to bail them out. I live in a state that has a balanced budget amendment. Okay, so they have to have the money or they don't get to do it.
Yeah, I think a balanced budget amendment is something that every state and the federal government needs, except in times of war.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's because we're trying to be adults, and our governor also found out about China trying to buy a bunch of property in the state of Arkansas, and she said, hell no. No, not through any corporation or whatever. If it goes back to China, you're not getting any property in Arkansas. So I'm proud of our governor. She's done a really good job so far since she's been here. And I'm proud that we voted her in. And she's doing a kick-ass job. And that just shows that if you listen to the people that you're supposed to represent, and you talk to them and you tell them and look them in the eye and say, this is what I'm going to do if you put me in there. And then you go there and you do it. Okay. The people are going to look up to you and say, if she does this and she does this afterward, I'm going to be behind her because I've seen what she can do. And it's just like all these other people, when they say they're going to do something and you put them there, and then you sit there and you're waiting and you're falling asleep and you're dying or whatever for year after year after year, but they keep getting back in. Why? Who's voting for them? But now we're finding out how they keep getting back in because there's nobody voting for them. They're just putting the ballots in whatever amount we need. And it's sad, but see, that's why all this has to be cleaned up. One piece at a time, piece of the puzzle. Take that block out, take this block out, take this block out, and then put them back where they belong, and the hole gets plugged. See, that's what I'm seeing that they're trying to do, and I'm trying to be as supportive of it as I can and share it with people so people can see they're taking these blocks out where they don't belong, and they're trying to put them back where they do, and then put the money back over. They're not going to get all the money back, but if we get half of the money. If we just get half of the trillions of dollars that's been frauded out from our purses and our wallets and our bank accounts, the taxpayer, that's more than what we ever were going to get if Trump hadn't got in. That's how I'm looking at it. If we only get half of what we've been expecting, it's better than none. I don't see anybody happy about any of it. Everyone just complains constantly instead of being happy about some of the things that are happening. All the kids that have been saved, that to me, one kid being saved is worth something, And that kid, this kid, that person being arrested, that person being taken off the street, it's a win. And I'm trying to say, yes, we are winning. It's little. It's a little here, a little there, but we're winning. We are winning, and I'm thankful for every single day so far of having Trump be president this time, and the fact that we're starting to see headway.
All right, I'm gonna
I want
let
to see
you guys.
more.
I'm gonna let you guys in on a secret. No, it's
Yeah.
not really a secret.
Mhm.
All right, Trump wasn't my candidate during the primaries back in 2016. I was a Ted Cruz guy.
Mhm.
I remember having this conversation with my brother-in-law in my backyard because I live here in this house. Right next door, my sister, brother-in-law, niece, and nephews live. Right down the hill is where my mom and dad and baby sister live.
Mhm.
And we were discussing who we were going to be voting for in the primaries. And it was getting fairly obvious that Trump was going to be the candidate. My problem was the fact that I did my research onto Trump, and he was a Democrat. I mean, the man is the one who bankrolled Jesse Jackson when he ran for president. He was a big time supporter of the Democrat Party. And I felt at the time he was running in the Republican primaries to act as a spoiler to make it easier for Hillary to get into office.
Mhm. A
Now,
lot
for
of
those
people
of you
felt
don't,
that.
for those of you who don't know, in 2008, I was in a really bad automobile accident. Both legs got cut off and bolted back on. They had to reinflate my left lung, rebuilt me. My wife took my kids to England, where fathers don't have any rights. Well, 2009, I tried to go through the State Department to get the lawyer that the State Department policy is if your spouse takes your kids overseas, they're supposed to provide you with a lawyer to help you go through the overseas jurisdiction to get your rights to be with your kids.
Mm-hmm.
I lost 2 years because of that woman sending me running around. The head of the New Scotland Yard and the head constable of the Metropolitan Police there in London both told me the only way I'd get my kids back was if I was to come over there without my ex knowing I was there, wait for her to drop my son off at school, go in, get him from the school, go get on a plane, and fly back to the United States before she ever knew it. Hillary Clinton purposefully cost me 2 years. Talked with that woman on the phone. Talked with Uma Abedin on the phone. Even talked with the minister for the interior of the UK, and they all kept saying, "No, your State Department's supposed to be providing you with a lawyer, not us." And she was sending me in the runaround. So there was no way in hell I was going to vote for that woman. So I was looking into to make sure I wasn't going to vote for somebody that was going to make it easier for her to get into office.
Mm-hmm.
But there was sure as hell I wasn't going to vote for her. And I used to joke, Hillary Clinton bought my vote for Trump in 2016. But he earned my vote in 2020 and in 2024. And if you remember the press conference, not press conference, but the press dinner where Obama spent the entire time just unleashing on Trump, and the first couple of jokes, you can see Trump took it in good stride until he realized this was just Obama taking the shit out of him.
Mm-hmm.
And if you'll go watch that video again, you can see the moment Trump decided, oh, hell no, I'm winning this bitch. And if you'll notice, after that moment, he went all in to win. And that's the only good thing I can think that Obama ever did is as president, was be that thin-skinned, petty man-child that he was, and literally light a fire under Donald Trump's butt and turn Donald Trump into the anti-Obama.
Mm-hmm.
And the world's a better place because of what Trump's done so far.
Yeah, I wasn't going to vote for Trump either. So I was going to vote for Ben Carson. That's who I liked. And I was all gung-ho for him. But as things unfolded, and that one night I watched, they were going to have a big debate. And then it had the one, Jeb Bush, and a few others, you know, doing stuff, right? And they were all going to be in there. And all of a sudden, they called Ben Carson's name, but he didn't hear his name. So he stopped and he was waiting to hear it again, and he didn't hear it. And each of those people got called and they just walked right past him, Ben Carson. Well, then Trump got called and he didn't go either. He stood there with Ben, waiting for Ben to let him go. And that's what showed me that he's not this pig that everybody tries to say he is. He's a compassionate person. And the way he treated Ben Carson backstage, not out on stage where all the people were, it made me start thinking maybe he would be a good president. So I started looking into him more and more and more. And that's what made me decide that, yeah, I'm going to vote for him. I'm going to give him the option. I'm going to give him the chance and see what happens. And he hasn't let me down. I can honestly say that. And I wasn't all for him either. I thought he was an arrogant pig. I've seen him on so many shows. You know, I saw him on Saturday Night Live. I just saw him do a lot of stuff. And to me, I didn't know if that's what I wanted as a president of the United States. But Ronald Reagan did it, you know. So if Ronald Reagan could do it, why couldn't me give 4 years to another person? It can't be any worse than what we already got. That's how I was looking at it. So, and it worked out pretty good, I think. So, you know, that's how I'm seeing it. But I want to send a invite out real quick. Someone sent me a message and I'm going to invite them. So just give me 1 sec. I'm going to do this real fast for him. So
while you're doing that, I'd like to say something to Hardwick.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, Hardwick, I like your name. In fact, I used your name for one of the characters in my superhero project, The Queensman. He's the butler of the team that everybody refers to him as Uncle Hardwick. If you go to my Deviant Art account, you can find his picture should be one of the first ones that pops up. And the funny thing is, his family is the entire support staff of my superhero team.
Yeah.
Ow. But yeah,
here's the next thing that I wanted to bring up. It's also about Obama, because Trump was talking about Obama's the one that sent the pallets of cash in the middle of the night. And he believes that they were also sending stuff, nuclear components or whatever it is they needed to do what they were doing, to be ready to do something when they wanted to. And what always scared my mother, because I remember my mom talking about being worried they had dirty bombs and came over the border with it into our country. And my mom was petrified for that. And that's why she believed in a secure border. She said, because, you know, we got to protect ourselves. Everyone hates us. They're jealous of our freedom. And I'm not saying, she was saying she wanted people to be able to come here and become citizens, but they had to follow the rules and get here the right way. And that's how her relatives did, you know, years and years ago. So it is possible that you can do it that way and keep us all safe. But I want to play this really quick and let you hear what he has to say, because I really do love this man. I think he's done a great job also. I think John Solomon is a decent man. So here we go. I want you guys to listen to him. It's only a minute long. So here we go. Let me start it over.
I know President Trump has every right to be frustrated with him. I think President Trump's analysis last week was right. I think my immunity rule might protect him on the original charges. That's what most legal experts tell me, that that ruling is so sweeping it will protect Obama for what he did in office. However, Barack Obama can now be summoned before a grand jury. He cannot take the Fifth Amendment because he has immunity from prosecution. He'll have to tell the truth. If he lies as a private citizen about what he did as president, he'll no longer have that immunity. And that is a trap that Obama is sitting potentially facing. And I want to say the irony to that, because on January 5th, 2017, he presided over a meeting in the White House where the FBI had just cleared Mike Flynn of any wrongdoing. And they schemed in that meeting how they might be able to jam up Mike Flynn. And they came up with the idea, we'll lure him into an interview, catch him into a lie, and then prosecute him that way. Barack Obama now is about to face a potential similar situation as the one he created unfairly for Mike Flynn.
There you go.
Boy, that would be nice.
It would be nice.
That would be nice if they could actually get Barack to admit all the things which he helped engineer and bend the country over and put us in a downward-facing dog position.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can hear me, right? I'm not.
Yes. I hear you.
Okay. I just want to make sure because I don't know exactly how Spectrum could fuck up a live stream, but they really stuck their member in every orifice last Sunday. Sorry about that, Janet.
Are you painting the Mothman?
It's supposed to be like a plant-based aberration.
Ah. Kind of looked like the Mothman. That's why I was asking.
Cool.
Okay, well, here's another one that I wanted to share with you guys really quick, because all of this like connects together. But let me, I got to push pause on here. I just want you to listen to this and see if you guys have heard this. But here we go.
Like 15 times trying to get the message out. They fucked up. Okay, go watch my other videos. Doesn't matter if you're not here and you're not caught up. You missed the fucking fight. But if you are, it's time to suit up. Boots on the ground. Nicollet and fucking 26th. My house is 4 blocks away. Anywhere between Franklin and Nicollet and 26th and Nicollet. Show up, ready to go. Okay, not talking about peaceful protests anymore. We're not talking about having polite conversations anymore. I am talking specifically to my fucking followers. This is everything I have fucking talked about, and this is exactly what I said was going to happen. This is exactly what I said was going to fucking come when we didn't fucking go and march on fucking Whipple with guns. Sorry, but welcome to America 2026, where Second Amendment is the only thing that's going to keep you fucking protected from literal fucking Nazi gunmen that are killing innocent people in the street with impunity. This is not a fucking joke. There's nothing fun to chant about it. Get your fucking guns and stop these fucking people.
What's he talking about?
Wait a minute. Just listen.
Today, a federal indictment was unsealed, charging 15 defendants with conspiracy to impede or injure federal officers and other charges related to efforts of 2 Minneapolis-based Antifa groups that violently opposed the enforcement of federal law in our state. The defendants are members and associates of Direct Action Minnesota. They are charged with conspiracy to impede or injure a federal officer, solicitation to commit a crime of violence, interstate threats, interstate stalking, assault on a federal officer, and destruction of government property. Earlier this morning, agents of Homeland Security Investigations conducted a coordinated law enforcement operation culminating in the arrest of 12 of the 15 defendants. One defendant had already been in custody on other federal charges. 2 defendants remain fugitives at large. Today's charges and arrests reflect a broad federal effort to address organized, lawless behavior which seeks to disrupt the execution of federal law, endanger law enforcement, and importantly, endanger the very communities that these defendants falsely claim to be protecting. Be assured, the Department of Justice and my U.S. Attorney's Office has and will distinguish between lawful protest and criminal conduct. These defendants have been charged not for what they said, but for what they did. They all joined an agreement, a conspiracy, to interfere with lawful immigration enforcement operations. The conspiracy was not to interfere by their voice, but to do it by force. That's a crime, and it will not be tolerated in the United States.
Okay,
Direct
but
Action Minnesota
what's going to stop?
emphasizes their violent.
What's going to stop what?
What's going to stop a fucking DA paid for by George or Junior Soros or Huma Abedin? Who's going to stop them from going in and freeing Tattoo Face and setting him back free on the poor people that live around Racine County, Minnesota? I'm not saying that everybody in Minneapolis is like a problem, but there's like 85,000 problems in Minneapolis that could be shipped back to their ancestral home, not in the United States, but they could
Well,
be
I
sent
guess
back
we're
to
gonna have to.
Australia.
We're just gonna have to sit back and wait and see what happens, and see if
There's a better solution to this.
Yeah,
That-
wait a second. Is it going to be any different than what you heard at the beginning of this video, the way you say it, and what you're going to do about it, or are you going to let the letter of the law follow? That's what I'm asking you. What's the difference between rhetoric like that compared to rhetoric like
I'll
you're
tell you what it is. I will absolutely outline it clearly for you, Janet.
Okay.
Liberals actually are doing something. They're killing off big people in conservative movements. They're making it to where it's impossible to get a council seat in small towns, Texas. They're flooding an area with people that are not indigenous. They're not conducive to an area so they can sway the vote. They are rigging the game, and whenever the game is starting to kick back at them, they get forceful, which is why we've had riots and all sorts of lawlessness since 2024 when it all began again, which, I kind of expected. But I still don't see enough burning communists, and I don't want them going to prison or jail. Oh, well, I mean, yeah, we found them guilty, but there was a sympathetic DA that thought they should go because she was wearing a pussy hat that day at her job. No, I want them thrown in a goddamn wood chipper, and I want them to be dead. I don't want them to come back in 2 years to help vote against the midterms, and I sure shit don't want them voting in the presidential election. I really don't like. I used to believe in our system. What my own state of Texas?
Yeah.
My own state of Texas, we are. I'm trying to get a hold of the funds to get a fucking wood chipper so I can have green grass. Does that tell you everything I'm trying to do?
Well, yeah, but the thing is, there has to be law in there. See, you can either have this side half cocked, this side half cocked, and who gets hurt in the middle? All the women, the children, the ones without weapons, ones
We're
who
gonna
can't
get hurt anyway. You let all the fucking brownies in from the Middle East. If it wasn't for the shitskins in the UK and France, the young blonde girls wouldn't be getting raped so fucking much.
Well, what I'm saying is, I believe in law and order.
I do too, but whenever the law starts getting tampered with because the shitskins are getting involved with local populations,
We
and we're
have
not
to
abiding by the
think-
1952
Why did
Immigration
that
and Naturalization Act. We're not.
No, but why
We
did
got
that
the
happen?
goddamn law on the paper, and nobody follows it. 1952 Immigration and Naturalization Act. What the fuck?
Because
They have
people were
it
lazy.
1990.
People were lazy and they let people cheat. Just like I said at the very beginning, when I first
So if
started
they're going
doing
to cheat, we should just put them down.
the thing
No, you
is,
can't cheat for it.
the
You're dead. Fuck
reason
you.
why we got all these electronic machines and everything in the voting thing is because people were lazy and wouldn't go sign up to work the polls. So you didn't have enough people to be there. So then they paid their friends and hired people to come, and it was easier and easier and easier to cheat. Then you add the robotic machines and stuff. You don't even need people. All you got to do is have a few people push the right buttons, and you get whatever votes you need. See, that's how come it's happened, because the people have stopped doing what they need to do to make sure to protect their vote, to protect their citizens, and protect their towns and their cities and their states.
Okay,
We
I don't
got
believe
lazy. That's why
I'm-
we're
I'm-
at where we are right now.
I'm just going to say this. What we have right now doesn't work. Why does it not work, Bruce? We have so many tens of thousands of useless laws because the laws that were previously put in place were never actually enforced. So you'd have another school shooting. So you'd have another shooting from water tower.
what you're
So now we
saying
have.
is
Hold
you don't
on, let
need-
me finish. God
Wait,
damn
wait.
it! You
You
have
don't
over
need-
150,000 gun laws in the states, which are there supposed to fucking guarantee the rest of us have a safe existence.
Yeah.
But instead, we have everything out there to protect this little person and this little person, and we have laws specifically to protect these little groups here and there, and they're trying to insulate themselves from the general population of us.
Mhm.
We need to flip the table and say, okay, the only thing we are going to keep is actually the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, and we'll begin again, because what you have right now is untenable. It's not working. We need the fucking Constitution to be ratified. We need that Convention of the States, and we need to have it much sooner than later, because I really don't want shitskins running our country. I
The only
really have a
bad-
problem with Democrats. You think I'm going to be fucking friendly to third worlders? You think I'm going to be happy whenever I get fucking swerved into by some shitty Indian driver behind the wheel of a JB Hunt truck? You think I'm going to be able to hold my fucking anger and contain myself from waiting patiently for the cop to arrive when some dumb fucking Sikh with a ceremonial knife tries to stab me after he tries running into me and he succeeds? I'm done.
Okay,
This is
but what
why
I'm
I don't
saying-
talk about politics. I'm done. We talked. We
Well,
gave
then
it
why
a
do you
chance.
want to join? Then why do you want to join?
I wanted to join because I thought maybe there would be a different avenue things would go. But yet, whenever I'm seeing like, oh God, Antifa's still able to do this shit, and nobody's saying Antifa's a terrorist organization, if they
You
pop their
didn't
head
even
up,
listen to what he was
snipe it.
saying then.
I was looking at the guy with tattoos going, what the fuck am I watching?
No,
This
what
can't
I'm
be
saying
Antifa. Antifa had gone all the way around and they went to embrace the Second Amendment. And now they're telling us directly, we're going to take it all back by force. Believe your enemies when they tell you what they want to do. Okay?
I didn't believe
The
them.
Muslims, we'll say again.
I've never said that I don't believe that what they want to do. Everything that I do is trying to stop people like that. I don't want my daughter or any of my family members to be killed by someone like that. That's why I took classes. I learned how to use a weapon to protect myself. Okay. I am doing everything I can as a female American citizen to defend myself and defend what's mine. But you don't live here with me. Okay. So when those crazy people are fighting people like you in the street, and then they decide, well, we're going to go to that house, I have to defend myself. And if everyone's not ready to defend themselves, they're going to lose.
You have to be ready. You have to
That's
be
what I'm
ready.
trying to
That's all there
say.
is to it.
That's why I'm trying to prepare people. Prepare people, because if your side says we're going to take it by force and this side says we're going to take it by force, all the people in the middle are going to just get trampled down. There'll be nothing left, right?
I didn't.
So then, wait a minute. So then when one side or the other does win, somebody's got to make sure and put everything back together, or we're just going to live in chaos where we just run over and gonk somebody on the head and drag them in our cave, do whatever we want, and we just steal food and we take stuff from other people because nobody wants to grow crops, nobody wants to run restaurants, nobody wants to drill for oil, nobody wants to do any of these things anymore. Because why the fuck should we do it? They're just going to be greedy and they're going to take everything, so I'm just going to take everything I want. And if everybody lives that way, what kind of society is that? Does that mean I want to have a baby and raise a child in that kind of environment? No, I don't care who's on charge. I don't care what side it is.
It's where we're going right now by letting these people continue to exist and thrive. I mean, I thought Antifa was a terrorist organization.
During COVID, people were telling me, because I didn't get a jab, that I need to be locked in a camp and that I should be denied medical care because I'm trying to kill people simply because I said, no, I don't want a vaccine. Okay. So then when I find out that, wow, I'm glad I didn't do it. I'm glad I didn't take the shot. I never said I want to ground up all the people that wanted to put me in a camp and put them in a camp. Fuck them. I never did that shit. I never said that shit. And
I said it, you're a tyrant. I think you're a piece of shit, and I want to not have to deal with you anymore.
Guess what? I'll be standing in the middle, and I'll be killed by both sides because I'm not taking either side when that's the side that I have to take.
I tried taking the high road. I tried taking the high road when I lived in Illinois, and you know what? It didn't work for me. It failed me every time I tried taking the high road, and that's great. You know, I hope it works for you. I really do. But I'm looking for opportunity, and if it happens, it happens. That's all there is to it. You know, I mean, there's not cameras everywhere, and that's all I can say. I mean, there are plenty of places where the pigs roam freely, and it's great.
Well, I'm not giving up. I'm going to keep fighting.
I tried. Go for it. You know, but I would rather see the occasional one like this. What happened to the Antifa member? Why? I don't know. And I would love to see that because there's plenty of people that get lost in the desert.
How many Antifa do you guys have in Texas?
Way too many.
Well, there you go.
I mean, they're not coming out in force, but I just discovered yesterday because somebody shared her IG with me. Like, wait, you don't like ICE? And then I got the death stare from her and like a bunch of people at the bar. And I'm like, I'm never coming here again. Do you understand me? Like, I enjoy law and order. I like law and order. I like borders. I like fences. And for people not to fucking appreciate the fact they have the right to private property, which is what that shit guarantees, I got the death stare and I fired right back. And I was like, come on, let's go. I've already had my tequila and beers. Let's make a row out of this thing. And I knew I wasn't going to feel any pain, even if I lost. But it pissed me off. I even threw out the Waffenkulo shit, and nobody understood that or wanted to understand it. They just like, no. All right, fine. Wrong crowd.
Well, the scary thing is, a lot of these chuckleheads have never seen actual combat. And they call for violence right up until the violence hits them.
When the violence comes knocking at their door, they're like, all of a sudden, oh my God, what the fuck? And they want to fucking surrender right away. I'll tell you what, I've never been in a firefight. I've been shot at. A firefight is both sides have equal opportunity to strike at range. I wasn't that guy. I was shot at. What did I not have? A way to get back. What did I do? Duck, cover, run the fuck out of the way. What did I do in the
Combat is
Navy?
one of
I
those
blew up
things I've
things
never-
that. Go ahead.
You know, when I was in the service, and I give this advice to kids that are going in, when the shooting starts, you have to have the mentality, I'm already dead. You have to fight to live. Because if you hesitate, you will die. You have to be fully committed. There is no holding back. You have to go balls to the wall. You have to push yourself past any conceivable boundaries to seize life from the death that's all around you. I never want anybody else to have to go through that shit, because in all honesty, I'm expendable. You ain't. That is how I've looked at my life. I put the lives of others ahead of my own. And hey, Woke Breaker, how you doing? I love others more than I love me. I've made this statement before on my channel and other people's channels. There's only one thing in all of God's creation that I hate, and it ain't none of you. Ain't none of you. I am willing to put my life on the line to keep y'all safe, because I love you. I see the potential that you have. And Hardwick says Antifa is designated as a terrorist organization, hence the types of arrests that the man with a kippa in that video is talking about. That tattooed guy and his co-conspirators are behind bars now. Yep.
Yeah, you guys didn't hear Trump say that? They are now considered, anyone in Antifa is considered a terrorist organization.
Makes me
And of
happy.
course, you had Hakeem Jeffries and a whole bunch of other chuckle nuts. Those fuck nuggets were sitting there for the longest time saying Antifa doesn't exist. It's just an idea. What's his name? The dude that's like this fat, that waddles, that actually shot himself on national TV. Shoot, Nadler. That's it. Nadler.
Yeah, he looks like the penguin.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
guy.
That saying that there's no such thing as Antifa, it's just an idea. And I'm like, Antifa's existed since 1930 something.
Yep.
And yeah,
They even predate the Weather Underground.
Yeah, the Weather Underground came about in the 60s with Ayers and his little group of
Bernadine Dorn. Wait for those two to kick off.
Yeah, that it was in their living room that Obama launched.
Fucking professor in Northern Illinois.
And I mean, I've looked at. I love history. I wanted to be a history teacher. I wanted to teach civics. That was what I had hoped I'd have. I'd go do my military career, get out of the military, and then become a teacher. That was what I wanted to do in my life. Unfortunately, that's not how it turned out. But it's one of the reasons why I think a lot of the people in my chat that follow my channel love my deep dives, is I try to explain these complicated things in simple enough terms that they can understand it. And it's like when we did the deep dive on the Iran, what was going on in Iran. So many people did not go that the problems that we've got with Iran goes all the way back to before World War II. In fact, before World War II, Iran was known as Persia. They changed the name from Persia to Iran because Adolf Hitler told the Muslims there that they ought to change the name from Persia to Iran because Iran means the land of the Aryans. And you know how obsessed he was with the Aryans.
Mm-hmm.
And then during World War II, the British and the Soviets seized Iran. The North was controlled by the Soviets, and the South was controlled by the British to keep that oil and fuel out of the hands of the Axis powers, because it was felt that the Iranian government was going to be pro-Hitler because Hitler was a major anti-Semite, which is ironic considering the fact both Germany and Persia were two of the largest concentrations of Jews in the world. And they were accepted within those cultures at the time. They were still second-class citizens, but they were allowed to reach high levels in their governments. They were able to be superstars in entertainment and everything else. Plus the fact both countries were very cosmopolitan, that you did not really see people hold it against you what your faith was. I'm sorry, I'm rambling, aren't I?
No, I'm pulling up an email I got from Hardwick, so give me a second.
All right. And
I apologize, Janet and chat, but I get a little frustrated whenever I hear one thing and I see something flaunted directly in the face of it, and it repeats for 30, 40, 50 years. I want to return to the Nationalization and Immigration Act in 1952. There's a list of people on Wikipedia that were clearly booted out of the state because they were anti-American, anti-Western civilization. And why can't we go back to that? That would be so much
they're
better.
talking about that right now.
Well, can I say something real quick?
Go for it.
About this. Okay, I've got Hardwick. He sent me this because I did see this whole thing when Trump was talking about it in his office about Antifa becoming a terrorist organization. And there was someone else, another group that they did. Do you remember who it was, Hardwick? If you remember, can you tell me that one too? There was another one that he also signed an executive order for, and I can't remember what it was, but it's all in the shit show chat. So it's in there. But I want to ask Bruce a question. Bruce, under the last administration that we just had, which I really don't think it was the person that was sitting in the office, the person that was sitting.
Are you talking about the pin?
Well,
you're talking about the pin, aren't you?
Behind the man that was sitting in the White House, okay? Do you think that this right here that you're reading on the screen would have ever been made into this right here as a terrorist organization if it hadn't been for Trump being in the White House?
Well, I think if the last administration, I think if they would have had just a little more either pushback from the 2A Bibles and rifles crowd, I think they would have probably drafted something up like very much like that, but instead of Antifa, it'd be the Gun Owners of America or the Firearms Policy Coalition or anybody who was part of the NRA, even though the NRA is toothless and has no balls whatsoever. They fold like a prisoner in a Turkish prison. The first time somebody comes up with money, the NRA quickly bends over and then tells everybody, like, all is well, all is good. And they Neville Chamberlain all the things that the lobby is supposed to hold dear to. But it really just makes you sick. Yeah, Biden would have designated me as a terrorist leader if he had senility and heard what I said in the last 20 minutes. But you know
what's
what?
great about
Fuck him.
this? But what's great about this?
That's a great document, though.
Yeah, but this is great, and it's a start. Okay, and there's another group. I can't remember the other one, but he did it for a few things and made them terrorist organizations. But once they're arrested, now they can charge them with something. And if a judge doesn't charge them with this, then they'll be able to put it in another court, because this is a
kind of encompassing
federal charge. This is a federal charge, right? So this isn't going to be a slap on the wrist, and any judge that gives them a slap on the wrist something's going to happen to them now that this isn't.
Okay. That right there, I disagree with.
Well, I don't. That's why I said wait and see. Wait and see. We only got 2 years left, so you'll find out.
Soros judges and DAs. Are you telling me we're going to clean house in the next 700 days? You're going to make me really happy if we do, but I'm going to put on polymorph.
I think you're going to see
I would love it.
Big things happening.
I would love it, but my faith
in my
dollar says bet against it. I want to believe. But right now, I am seeing us way too involved with exterior interests. I need Trump to focus on America and fuck everybody else. I mean, Iran, God bless them.
That is being done to keep a dirty bomb from coming over the border and into, or that's already here, into one of our football games or something like that.
It would take 30 minutes for somebody to assemble, hon.
I'm just saying. I think something's already over the border. Honestly, that's
It
why
already is.
They had it open.
Okay.
But
Do you understand?
Here's something really quick I want to share with you. It's from Texas. So let me open it real quick. I was talking about it earlier. Is it here it is. I think this is it. Yeah. I wanted to know if you knew about this. In a bombshell move that sent shockwaves across the U.S., Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Did you hear about this? What he's done?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Hi, Julie. There has been a big fight here in Texas between Governor Greg Abbott and the Muslim community.
This is a wagging the dog.
As a foreign terrorist.
Wagging the dog, Janet.
North Texas, a Muslim community leader, Marwan Maroof here, is soon going to be deported. He's been in ICE custody since September, and then just last week, an immigration judge issued him a final order of removal. Now, according to DHS, Maroof is from Jordan and overstayed his visa. They shared, quote, Maroof was denied a lawful permanent resident visa due to his involvement with a foundation that provided material support for Hamas, a designated foreign terrorist organization. The Council of American Islamic Relations, known as CARE, has been fighting for Maroof's release, describing him as a pillar of the community. Well, Texas Governor Greg Abbott responded to this on X. He said, quote, this is another example of CARE Texas's support for Hamas and terror. Abbott designated the Muslim Brotherhood and CARE as foreign terrorist organizations earlier this month. He said, quote, the Muslim Brotherhood and CARE have long made their goals clear: to forcibly impose Sharia law and establish Islam's mastership of the world. The actions taken by the Muslim Brotherhood and CARE to support terrorism across the globe and subvert our laws through violence, intimidation, and harassment are unacceptable. CARE
And then he
Texas
took
fired back
$13
with a
million
lawsuit
from
against
Muslim
Abbott,
groups
and community
in the
leaders
state of
together
Texas
held a
and
press
foreign
conference
entities.
urging him to retract.
Well, the thing is, you have to start somewhere. And if
Yeah,
you have
that's nice.
this as a law and you arrest someone in one of your Muslim communities that you guys have tons of in Texas, then they can shut them down because of this one thing he just did. So it's a start. But if your people in your state willingly sell hundreds of acres of land, knowing that they're from a certain country or a certain religion, and you take the money and you just say, oh, well, and you just let them put in mosques and start making changes in their communities around them so that you can marry 9-year-olds and stuff. Well, that's what happens. That's why we are where we are. And I've been saying that since the beginning of the show, because people become complacent and don't care about what's going on around them, because I just got to get to money and I got a new car and I got me a nice house, all because I just sold a few hundred acres. Who cares what happens in 20 years? I won't be here. I'll move to another state. See, that's the attitude of people. That's why we're in the streets that we are.
So on X, there's a nice young lady for Kelly for Texas. She is going to be the firebrand. She's our current Valentina Gomez running for governor. She's an anti-Muslim, anti-non-Texan Texan that's running for governor. She's got conservative and Christian roots. I don't know where she's from. Seems
not
pretty
from
nice.
Texas?
What?
She's not from Texas?
No, she's a Texan that is not for non-Texans having power. She wants to get rid of these foreigners that have no business being on school boards. She wants to get rid of these people that are trying to power broker acreage for Epic City, Texas, and other false fronts of care and whatever other acronym Muslim groups there may be.
Yeah.
There's no need for Muslims to have any positions of power here. The state is fucked up as is. We have our own problems. But she's over there screaming at the top of her lungs out of Frisco. Frisco is the battleground city in the state at the moment. As much as I love San Antonio, all the things going on in Frisco make the things we have here going on very, very tiny, very small. Frisco has huge problems between Muslim groups and Indian groups and people mainly that want to do H-1B visa bullshit. Kelly for Texas is out there rattling it off. She lets you know by the second what's going on. Think of Sarah is censored, but she has a political edge that she wants to sharpen, and she wants to get Greg's Wheels job. That's what she wants. I'd be happy to vote for her. I like her ideas.
Well, when is your elections?
November, when everybody else is.
Okay. So she's running in the November election.
Yeah.
Okay. No, it's the first time I've heard about her.
Well, I just discovered it the other day because my algorithm got fucked up when I started going against anti-Muslim stuff, and Instagram's like,
oh my God, it's a white guy. A fat white guy hates Muslims. Let's give him all the hot chicks with big tits and all the anti-Muslim people he can handle. Oh, you like Valentina Gomez. Look at that. Let me keep that avalanche going.
And that's all that ever happens to me. Every time I get on these miserable mainstream social media apps, they immediately put me in the corner and like, oh, you must like all these haters. Well, fuck, they're so goddamn entertaining and funny and truthful. If I didn't know about them, I would have never discovered Emily for America. All right. Janet, I would love to go things about things lawfully, but when you have people trying to make it to where they insulate themselves, like we have two things I need to talk about. First off, there's a bill going on right now that they're trying to make the disclosures, the stock disclosures, instead of doing it quarterly, they're trying to make it semi-annually, like every 6 months. So now your investments are no longer being reported accurately, and you're just getting like a spotty idea or record of how bad your money is being mishandled by a corporation or a mutual fund. That guys need to look into that and make sure that your investments are safe. 2, Elon, God bless him. I love Elon Musk. I love him for his sex drive because he was out there like, I can afford just impregnating anybody and put him in $1 million house with nice security. And I could be like, give him fuck off money and they can raise my goddamn kid. And I can do that 17 times as he did. I love that. And then he made some nice things. I'm not a big fan of Tesla electric cars because I just don't believe in electric cars. They're great, but people aren't ready for them. People can't drive an automatic. It makes you think they can handle the power and acceleration of electric cars. They can't. They're idiots. Nor do we have the background to really support everyone having a Tesla. Our infrastructure sucks. But he did make Starlink, and for that, I owe him $1. I'll be owing him 140 every month once it gets installed the 26th. But he's got this SpaceX, and it's getting ready to go public. Did you see the amount of money they valued it?
Trillions of dollars.
It's like Amazon on paper, but what does it produce? What does SpaceX actually fucking produce?
They put
Amazon. That's it. But NASA did that at a loss too.
Yeah,
SpaceX operates at a
SpaceX is
loss.
actually making money doing it.
Are they really making money at it?
Yeah,
I think SpaceX is going to tank our economy because once it goes public, it's inserted into the S&P. It's going to be on all the mutual funds, the top 500, the top 100, the top 50. So all your retirement accounts are going to drop a bit just to make room for this faux investment company. Because SpaceX really isn't making money, in my opinion. They're not making the money they say they are. You might make $1. You're not making the $100 you're telling me you are. They're putting satellites in orbit. They're doing R&D, but that's still like bordering on the edge of like government funds and services. And NASA did that for years till SpaceX came out, and they operated at a loss, a huge, huge loss. I have a bad feeling about SpaceX going public because that'll upend a lot of retirement and 403Bs and a lot of other government retiree accounts. You're going to have people that are going to watch their own value drop. I think this could tank a lot of the things we have going on right now. Not that we're financially secure at the moment in any way, shape, or form, but it's already a hard enough time with the Iran conflict, with the Ukraine-Russia conflict. This isn't going to help anybody.
So why are you praising him for that then?
I didn't praise SpaceX at all. Did you hear me talk about?
I thought you were saying I love Elon. God bless him and all this kind of stuff. That's crazy.
I know. I do love Elon. God bless the motherfucker. Like he's doing half the things right. Like he brought about like men get your sex drive back. He's trying to illustrate like young boys like
if you can afford it. I just think it's sad to have 17 kids. When is he going to be with his kids? You know, when's he going to be a dad? You tell people you want people to get married and have families and be together and raise them together, but then he's out having all these babies and he's not even there to be with his kid. I think that's pathetic, honestly. I don't care how much he is. I don't care if a guy came to me and said, "I'll give you $1 million and I want you to have my kid," but he's not willing to be there to be a dad to his kid. Money is not a dad. Hands-on, playing ball, doing stuff like that. That's a dad.
The last two times I saw Elon in public, he had the youngest child out with him.
Yeah, once a
I
month.
would say that.
See your kid once a month. Okay, wow. That's awesome. What a wonderful dad.
I would give anything to be able to actually physically see my kid once a month. Because right now all we communicate through is Discord. And it's divorce, the way divorce laws are in the United States and the UK.
It favors the women.
You get screwed in the bad way. It's not even funny. And I was the dad that woke up early and made my boys warm tea and milk, got their nappies changed, got them dressed and ready for their day. When I got back home, they'd be waiting by the door, happy and excited to see me. And I'd scoop them up, hug them, and kiss them. Look at my wife and ask her, "Were the boys good? Do you need a nap?" And if she needed a nap, I'd take them out of the house just so she could take her nap. If she was good, we'd all go to the park and have fun playing with the kids. We'd get home, we'd cook dinner as a family. Then I'd give them their bath. We'd then get them ready for bed. And the only time in my
Divorce
life I was
sucks.
truly happy was being a dad. And because that's all I really ever wanted in life was to be a husband and father. And not to be able to do that, having my kids in the UK where I can't have anything to do with them, can't see them, can't talk to them, and the fact things have been going on in the UK, the craziness that's over there. If they say something that somebody don't like, they could go to jail. All that stuff has got
Fucks
of
your head
all
up.
the pain I live with, there is no pain on earth that compares to being a parent and not being able to be in your kid's life. I would not wish this pain on anybody. I have said this before. I have contemplated airing out my skull more times than I care to count because of how much it hurts not being in my kids' lives. And the only reason why I haven't done it was because I know those kids would realize why I did it and they'd hate their mother, and no child should hate their mother. And it's better that I suffer than anyone else suffer. That's why I had to turn my camera off, is because my sciatica pain is getting really bad and I needed to stretch out to make my legs try to stop throbbing. And I didn't want anybody to see me having to do it. The human body is an amazing thing. The spirit's even more, because our spirit allows us to overcome our physical form. Because I love my kids so much, I'm living in pain. I'm existing. And we need to remember that. Our kids are our future. They're the most precious gift God has ever given us. Even more so than the life that gives us breath. Because when you look at your children, that unlimited potential that exists, does it not make you feel better? Does it not give you hope? Does it not give you a reason to keep striving for the next day? You could be miserable, but you will go without food. You will go without water to make sure your kids have a roof over their head, have food in their belly, and they're happy.
I'm 100% agreeing with you, because as a mom, I feel the same way. I've gone without meals. I've gone without sleep, just to make sure that my kids had what they needed. And everything that I do, when I do this, I'm not getting paid to do any of this stuff. I'm doing it because I'm passionate, because I love my country. I love my veterans. I love my kids. And I want them to have a better future than what I think they're going to end up having, simply because of the choices certain people have made in government. And I have worked the polls, and I know that voting can be done and there's no cheating. Okay, so it's possible to elect real people if everybody has their heart and soul in it and wants the same thing for their children. for a future of freedom. And I know I'm not the only person that feels this way. I've worked the polls. I've talked to hundreds of people and in 2 different states, and I know they want the same thing. And I can't believe that only in these 2 states is the only states that care about freedom and that care about truth and free, fair elections, things like that. And most people do believe that you don't have to have some stupid laws like some of the things they have right now to prove that that person can't vote because they can't get a driver's license, or he doesn't have an ID or whatever because of what they look like. You see, that's stupid. And most people of those in that realm also believe that that's stupid and that they're using them to sell a narrative to get them elected by the people that think that certain people like Hillary Clinton that says it takes a village to raise a child, that it doesn't. It takes parents, okay, that love their kids and want what's best for them. And I was going to say to you, the fact that you haven't done anything like that to yourself, which is wonderful, and it's a miracle that you are that stronger than what you think you are, okay, because you are made by the hand of God, basically. And your boys one day won't be in the situation they're in, and they will be able to come see you and be with you. And the fact that you held on for them will mean even more, because one day they'll be men and they'll be ready to make decisions just like you're having to make. And hopefully you'll be there for them.
I'm still here. I'm existing.
It'll be worth it.
That's why I tell people.
Be like this.
That's why I tell people.
Richard.
Yeah.
I just said it's not going to be like this all the time, man. You're going through a bad spell because the kids are young. Once they turn into adults, things are going to be different.
Well, Zachary turns 19 this year. And I've begged him to come over, even just for a visit. And he doesn't want to come over because of all the anti-Trump propaganda is just really bad. And excuse me. And it's just a real pain in the butt.
You could always show him all the reels or shorts of Europeans coming over to America and discovering Buc-ee's and our fried chicken and our huge food portions and the yellow school bus and all the shit that they were going apeshit for this last week. Because
that's coming up on Wednesday, because we're going to be talking about the World Cup and how all the Europeans are freaking out over everything that they've been told about America was lies. And that's something that we're really looking forward to doing. And if anybody wants to hop in on that panel, it's an open invite. That's why I call it the fireside chats. All I ask is grab some of the Kit Kats out of the bucket, because we got something like 8 tons left. And and no, I am not the one who stole the shipment of Kit Kats.
I was going to ask you when you said you had 8 tons of Kit Kats. I'm like, you motherfucker.
When it came out, when the news hit, I literally had to do an announcement saying, no matter what you think, I did not do it. This was not me this time. It wasn't me. And my friends were like going, especially my son says, wait, why are you telling us that? And I'm saying, because this was my MO back in the day. And he's like, what? And I'm like, well, I don't know if it still happens, but in Virginia Beach, all of the tractor trailer trucks that was carrying beer and snack foods were no longer allowed to stop within viewing distance of any of the Navy bases because right the week before paydays, whenever we would get really, really hungry and thirsty, well, we would swipe stuff right off the trucks.
I mean, we're Navy. What do we do?
Yeah.
If
It's
there's
what
nothing
we
to
do.
break, if there's nothing to impregnate, if there's nothing to make dead, then we're gonna fucking steal shit. That's just kind of what happened. You know, I mean, you remember that train in Korea that the Seabees just kind of hijacked, and we took it all away, and while we were getting the train ready to roll, some of the Seabees saw there was a brew house right next door to it. So half the Seabees fixed the locomotive and fixed the tracks to where they could take it up to where the Marines were at. And then the other half, the Seabees grabbed all the beer they could and got on the train with all the beer they could. Like, if it's not nailed down and it's going to provide me some mild entertainment or enjoyment, it's mine.
Yeah. And Holocron Liberty Fox says the trouble with having 8 tons of Kit Kats is that they don't taste that good after 6 months. Exactly. That's why I'm
after a
saying,
month, really.
see the buckets? Grab some. We need to get rid of them.
It's hilarious.
But yeah, we have fun. We have fun over at the American Patriots pad. We talk about my dad, the fact that
Share the link in the private chat so I can put it out there for you.
All right, give me a second. I talk about the fact that, well, my dad was Santa Claus, and people look at me funny when I say that until they see a picture of my dad. And give me 1 second after I get this link for Janet, I'll show you a picture of my dad. And switching it on. There we go. Yep, there we go. All right, give me 1 second, and I will bring up my OBS and the picture of my dad. And click back over to you. Oh, no, wrong button. Sorry, I'm still learning how to push all these little buttons. But that's my dad.
Aww.
And the joke is, I was put in charge of the naughty list desk because of something that dealing with Harvey Cthulhu over on the Doomcock channel. And my naughty list, the naughty list elves are always out there. And for those of you wondering about Elf on the Shelf, there's a reason why there's Elf on the Shelf. We wanted to get him away from us because him and his sister are really, really bad perverts.
Mm-hmm.
They like to watch a lot, if you know what I mean. So if you've got an Elf on the Shelf, yeah, they're watching always.
No, I have this on my shelf.
Wolvie.
I don't
My
have any
nephew-
dolls or figures in my shelves in my bedroom. Okay, there's no toys with eyes allowed in the bedroom. I'm
Well, this
not
is my
going to
office.
allow them.
This is my office, not my bedroom.
But
Yeah, lots of stuff in here.
like I said, we have fun. Anybody who would like to come, please do. We always have an open door policy. And oh, sweet. Is that what-
Trumpinator,
that is so cool.
the bobblehead.
I've got one.
I know. I
forgot
sent it
where.
to you.
Yeah. Oh, I know
But,
he's in one of the bins somewhere.
But one of the things that I've
Hey, Bruce, check this out. Wait a minute. Look, it's sorry, I'm in a kick now. I got to share my stuff. Look at this tray.
Ooh, Bucky's, man.
It's a Bucky tray, and I got a mug.
Oh,
pretty
She's gonna
nice.
be a Texan. One of these days, she will be a Texan.
Hey, there's a Bucky's
Snacks.
that they just opened up here in the Carolinas that I can't wait to get back over to. And me and my older sister, we've made trips down to the Bucky's that's down by Darlington Motor Speedway multiple times. And the next time we go, my nephew's wanting to go with us. And
dude, Bucky's is an American institution. More and more people are discovering them. They're in 18 states now. I don't think they were in like 3 when I first came down to Texas 15 years ago. But they're popping up everywhere. And the biggest one's not even in Texas anymore. It's in Florida.
Yeah.
That hurts me so much.
The one in we've gone to the one in Florida a couple of times. And
did you have the rhino taco?
No, we got whenever I go, I spend money on the seasonings and the beef jerky because they make some of the best beef jerky I've ever found. And they've got some really good seasonings for cooking. That's another thing that American Patriot Pad does. We talk about cooking a lot during our discussions, especially when it comes to talking about food experiments.
Have you ever talked about the Big Cock Ranch and they sell that chicken shit, bullshit, pig shit and stuff?
Oh no, I've heard of that.
Seasoning for food.
Oh wow,
it's real. It's real, and it's sold by. It's called the Big Cock Ranch, and it's all seasoning for different kinds of meat.
There is.
It's good.
Here in the Carolinas, there was a morning show called John Boy and Billy.
Mm-hmm.
The John Boy and Billy, the Big Show, and almost 40 years. They were a big institution here. They've got the John Boy and Billy grilling sauce. And oh my God, it's one of the best grilling sauces you can find. You've got the original, you've got sweet and tangy, hot and spicy, and a couple of other ones that they did. They also have these dry rubs for chicken and pork. They've got a steak seasoning that's really good. But I've been experimenting with pork bellies a lot. And if you guys have never had pork bellies, oh man, you don't know what you're missing. Especially if you season them up just right.
I eat pork bellies every once in a while, but like I go to the local grocer and they sell shit like this, 12 ounces of bacon for $4.
Yes.
I can't really pass this up. I'm sorry, kids.
Yeah, bacon is awesome, especially the thick cut bacon.
Yes.
Allison Crazy came down off the mountain over Memorial Day weekend on a Sunday, and to do a cookout at my house, and I made bacon cheeseburgers, hot dogs, bratwurst, and a couple of other really, grilling type meals. And they took back a whole bunch with them. And Alice, she's Jewish, but she said that she ate multiple BLTs because the bacon I make is so good. Because I make thick cut bacon with brown sugar and maple syrup. Ooh, put that up there. Put that back up there. I want to see that.
It's real stuff. It's special shit, bullshit. I got chicken shit, and then I got good shit, and then they got pig shit. It's for all different seasonings, and it's real stuff, and it's delicious.
Send me that link. Oh yes. Yes.
And if you read it, it says it's from the Big Cock Ranch. See right at the bottom, right here. See,
Yeah.
Big Cock Ranch.
Cool. And Holocron says pork belly is an important stock in the German kitchen. I have some in my freezer right now. What I do is I'll take Monterey and Montreal steak seasonings and use that on my my pork belly.
Yeah.
If you've got prime rib seasoning, I also add that in with it and get it all in there nice and good. Put it in the oven, and I bake it at 425 for 16 minutes.
Do
and
you
then
use
flip
air
it,
fryer?
and then I flip it, and then I season the other side and put it back in the oven for another 16 minutes.
Yeah, but is it an air fryer or a real oven?
Real oven.
Okay.
My air fryer, I've not been able to get it to work in a while, unfortunately. But I'll cook it that way, and then after I've taken that out, then I have to go pour out the grease that is in the bottom of the pan, because I use a deep pan with a rack on it to make sure that the grease goes down and doesn't stay on the food, because there's a lot of fat in pork belly. But if you're gonna make like beans or something like that, pour that fat off into a container to where you can use it for your seasoning for your beans and stuff. Excelente. But then I add some of the John Boy and Billy grilling sauce to the like a steak sauce to the pork belly, and it turns out so good. And I recommend it. It's one of those pork belly is really good if you get it cut like at the thickness of bacon. Put your seasonings on it, put it in the oven, and let it crisp it just enough, like chips. Best appetizer you're ever going to put in your mouth. It's so good. And because my older sister, she's the one who does the grocery shopping for me, since I can't go out. And I asked for pork belly, and she brought back pork belly that was all sliced like bacon. And I'm like, oh God, what am I going to do with this? And then I started experimenting with it, and I came up with the chips. And
Well, that's where bacon comes from. It's basically pork belly, and it depends on how you slice it.
Yep.
What you use it for. And I remember I don't remember what my great grandma called it, but she'd cut it, and she'd cook it kind of like what pork rinds are.
Yeah.
Even though pork rinds isn't it the skin part? Okay, well, it's that way, but she would make it where she would put it in something and it would puff up more and be crunchy like that. So I remember her doing that, but she said it was pork belly. But I don't know how she cooked it that way.
There's so many really good. There's just so many really good things to talk about cooking. And we, like I said, my channel, we like to share the stuff we love with others, because we need more love in this world. And the only way we're going to make a positive change is by being that positive change.
Well, I see a message from Ruben. He says he's really sleepy.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm tired.
I am.
I'm sorry. I've run my mouth way too much. I'm sorry.
No, it was great. I loved it. It was fun. I remember how much fun I loved it. The groups when we first started out doing this. We had big groups, 4 or 5 people, and it's just a lot more fun. I really enjoy it that way. Good discussion, and back and forth, that kind of stuff. But I just want to say thank you to all of you for hanging out with me tonight. I really appreciate it. And everyone in the chat for hanging out, because we had a really good, lively chat tonight. And that's good, because good discussion is important for us to come up with ideas and answers for a lot of things that we need to do, and to help get rid of frustrations also.
Yeah. And make sure you guys buy yourselves a big wood chipper, and you proudly have the nicest tomatoes in the city because you feed it regularly. Feed Chippy. Do it for your children.
Yep.
Keep it out in the front yard and you'll know who lives there, right? But anybody, I want you guys to go around starting with Richard and say, you know, a little bit about your channel. And I already shared your thing earlier in the link, but you know, in the chat, your link in the chat, and give your information about your channel and let everybody know who you are, so they can come see you.
All right. I'm the American Patriot of the American Patriots Pad. We get together on Wednesday nights to do a fireside chat. We start at 1800 hours, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We go anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours. A couple of times we've gone to 3. Every now and again, we'll do deep dives on really serious topics. Like we just recently did a bricks and minifigs deep dive. We've done the Maduro yoinkening deep dive and an Iran deep dive to explain all the intricacies that we're not getting descriptions from the mainstream media, so people can understand.
Maduro shit was great, man. That I woke up one day and I was reading about it, and they had done like 2 edits in the story, and the edits were 20 minutes apart.
Mm-hmm.
And the final thing was they added a photo of Maduro masked being walked by a bunch of Spec Force guys to the plane.
Yep.
And that was so good, you know.
Well, the
like
funny
that,
thing
that,
about Maduro was the fact that his personal security were not Venezuelans; they were all Cuban mercenaries.
Yeah, I remember that.
He did not trust his own people to protect him, which is kind of smart because a lot of the people within his administration helped us go in and get him.
What was fun about that is last night we were talking about that, and I played a short that I found on TikTok, and it was a man giving an interview, and he does financial advice and stuff like that for really, really, really rich people.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he had 5 people in there with him, and they were all asking him this question he thought was so weird. It was like doomsday questions. You know, what happens when we have a collapse of society and money's worthless? So how do I keep my security to keep protecting me when money is not, when I can't give them money? What else is there I can work on so that I have something that these people will want to keep me protected when I don't have money? And they were talking about survival skills, you know, where to find food, how to keep a roof over your head, and all those different things. I thought it was pretty interesting because, you know, it's like I'm always saying, learn how to barter. You know, have people in your group that know how to sew and know how to make good beef jerky, you know, raise chickens or whatever the different things are, so that you have stuff to barter with to keep your little group with food and means, you know, all that stuff, you know, fishing, whatever it is that you can do. And I just thought it was a really interesting video because a lot of people don't even think about it. All you ever think is Bitcoin, money, money, money. But what happens when we don't have electricity? What happens when we don't have the grid? What happens when we don't have that anymore? How are you going to survive?
Room and board. That's one of the biggest things. If when push comes to shove, if you've got a secure facility, you've got food, stocks, you've got fresh water, you've got security. People will die to protect it, especially if you've told them, told your security guys, see this safe place I've got, bring your family and keep it safe. There's a movie / TV show called Homestead on Angel Studios.
Yeah,
that's the premise of it. If you've never seen it, please do. It's really good. It's basically terrorists attacking the terrorists set off a nuke off San Diego, I think it was, and it triggers all kinds of stuff going on. And there was this rich multi-billionaire who got into survivalism and turned his entire estate into a self-sufficient ark. And the main characters, you got Neil McDonald or McDonald. He's the billionaire. And then they've got several actors that I really enjoy who are ex-military special forces who are providing security for it. Yeah, go see it. It's really good.
Yeah. Well, Ruben, I know you're tired, so you want to tell everybody about your thing? I shared your link in the chat.
Just go to my Substack. It's on hiatus right now until after the funeral. So that's till next month, and then who knows what has to happen. I'm still trying to find a place to live. I'm still stranded here, so
where are you
I don't know
at?
where I'm gonna go. Currently, I'm in Elgin, Illinois. I don't want to be here anymore. I want to get out of here. So I'm trying to find a place to go. I just don't know where to go yet. North
Carolina's a nice place.
I'm trying to avoid East Coast. It's too. I'm trying to avoid it, but I may up ending there. So I don't know. So
well, if you do hit North Carolina and you're wanting to avoid the coast, stick here on the western side of the state. That's where all of us nice people live. And if you can get up around Lake Lower, the mountains are gorgeous.
Yeah, we'll see. I just don't know yet. Good night.
Well, good night, everybody. Go ahead, Bruce. You want to say anything?
My channel is currently kind of on a hiatus at the moment. I'm not going to be broadcasting if my current provider cannot give me decent transmission. I just need them to not drop the soap like they have for the past couple of weeks. So
well, I can broadcast for you tomorrow if you want. And you can broadcast from that if you would like to try that.
If we have the signal for this, like if nothing else, we'll do that. Chris will probably want to just run with Discord, which I don't blame. But at the same time, like fine, whatever. I'll cheat off you. I'll give you the keys for Rumble so you can get in the channel. Hopefully, it'll let you do that. The other big thing is getting Starlink at the end of the month. Hopefully, it doesn't suck. When I was watching all the relief, all the efforts in North Carolina and in Kerrville, where we have natural disasters, Starlink was providing really good video conferencing for national broadcasting, like on Fox, CNN, and everything. So I'll bite that bullet, $140 a month, sure. But I really just, don't suck Starlink. That's all. I need dwarves over here. I would love to have this area not suck. I love San Antonio, but I moved into a burb that they don't update things, and then they're like, "Well, why don't you get AT&T?" Well, does AT&T have fiber? Well, no. All right, I don't want it. I want a fiber connection. We don't have that here. Well, how do I get it?
Yep.
Made the mistake of moving into a trailer park. That's the fuck up that I did. Moved into a trailer court, and they're never going to update the wires here. So getting satellite with Starlink, probably my best bet.
So I know Starlink were the lifesavers up in the mountain because it was the only way to get communications in and out during Hurricane Helene. And Alice and Crazy, that they live up in Lake Lord back. They literally live not that far from where I grew up. And they actually know a lot of the people I grew up with. And the stuff that went on during Hurricane Helene and the recovery efforts, it's something else, man. That's whew. I'm telling you, that one of our big deep dives that we got coming up as soon as Alice and Crazy can get a GoPro cam to record the area around them so people can actually see the differences from the photographs from right after the hurricane went through and what we've got today.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be doing that big deep dive, and I am looking forward to it.
Sounds like fun.
All right.
But so I want to say thank you to everyone. And I don't know what we'll be doing tomorrow. I know we'll be playing a game. I don't know if it'll be online or not. But and then Sunday, what movie are we doing again? High Plains Drifter? Something like that.
High Plains Drifter.
High Plains Drifter. Okay.
For a minute there, I thought it was going to be High Plains Stripper, and I was like, "Oh, I'll watch that with you."
Well, I don't know. That's what I said. I haven't seen it. I don't think I've seen this one yet. I don't know. I'll have to wait until
If it's High Plains Drifter, is that the Clint Eastwood one?
Yeah, he's doing all Clint Eastwood. Is what he's on. He's on a Clint Eastwood kick right now. So that's what we.
Clint Eastwood. It's one of those classic Western movies from the spaghetti westerns that they made back then. It's really good. I think you'll like it.
I watched Joe Kidd last week, and part of it was okay. There was some good stuff in it, but there was also some stuff in it that was a Clintism, where I think they only did things because it was Clint Eastwood. There was some things, like when I say that, like they bring in a woman who's kind of hot and she has a bit part. She's there on set for about a week or less, and Clint has his way with her. Maybe makes a baby, maybe not. We don't know. He's got like 8 of them. He's not quite Elon Musk, but Elon Musk was inspired. And I'm just saying that Clint Eastwood, he has this pattern. And until Sandra Locke ruined his life for about a decade and a half, his life
Well,
was
he
at
was
least
with her a long time, so she must not have been that bad.
You say that.
Well, why would a man stay with someone for that long if she was useless?
I didn't say she was useless. I said that she ruined his life for about a decade and a half. I said that
He could have had
fairly
anyone he
clearly.
wanted, so I just think
He
that's
kept her around because she was on camera. She wasn't ugly, but she was never charismatic. And that's my biggest problem with her. She does not emote. She's a horrible Yoko Ono equivalent actress. She really is. And I struggle with this because Clint had so many good opportunities in life.
Well,
he did. We have them in every movie he's in. There's always a hot chick. And find out on the Wikipedia, it talks about how he was fucking her. Or if not the Wikipedia, it's IMDb's trivia page.
Yeah.
It always does that. It's amazing. You can have a girlfriend resume on IMDb if you're Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
And the guy, like he ran through Hollywood pretty hard. He was a good philanderer. He made a lot of good kids. He made a lot of babies. And, he actually raised his kids, it looks like. But only in the last 20 years or so has he really been a person that's very much aligned with the majority of Americans. And I want to say it started whenever he started criticizing the empty chair. I thought that was brilliant. I would have never thought of it. But it was at that moment that myself and a bunch of other Gen Xers were like, hey, Clint Eastwood's not just a guy with a bunch of kids. Because that's how I knew him. He was in a bunch of movies with an orangutan. He did some cowboy films. And he was, of course, Dirty Harry. But then when I realized he was turning 96 this year, and I'd already watched all my other heroes from before die, that was a perfect reason. Janet, let's watch nothing but Clint Eastwood movies for the longest time. And I figured we'd do that because we'd see a lot of various things in Hollywood. We would watch the trends as the movies were made. He did three to a year, it seems like. He does like 3 or 4 movies a year. You'll watch trends when you do that, especially if you do it chronologically. We skipped on one movie, the Bedeviled, Beguiled, because that's
Beguiled,
more of a that's going to be next year's Valentine's Day film. And then we started with his work and went into the spaghetti western genre. It was joyful, and we didn't really look at his Bonanza days, but we might want to look at that towards the end of this. But I really am enjoying the Clint Eastwood because I don't like Clint Eastwood that much. I like him less now than what I did before. But I at least can appreciate his evolution as an actor and as a man through the decades. Because even from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly and The Fistful of Dollars, he's changed some of his perspectives as he went into the Dirty Harry films. And you can see that.
Oh my God! What the fuck? Oh my God!
Oh my God! I'm just kidding. That was from the Dirty Harry clip.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that with all this, like, I love doing the Clint Eastwood stuff because we're taking a trip through time and really going into a deep dive on one guy's career because he's been in Hollywood longer than I've been alive. And what better way than to celebrate?
One or two movies that I've picked to do, he doesn't really want to do those.
Excuse
like
me.
Bridges over Madison County.
Janet, hold up. I agreed to do Clint Eastwood films.
Mm-hmm.
Even if, do I really want to watch Bridges in Madison County? No. Will I? Yes. Why will I do that? Well, I watched G.I. Jane, and I've watched some other stinkers.
Hey, I watched Meat Train and some other crappy ones too.
Midnight
So
Meat
we're
Train was
even.
awesome. It's a Clive Barker novella brought to life. It was good. Bradley Cooper, Brooke Shields. What do you not
And
like
I thought
about
that
it?
same thing about, some of the movies I've chosen.
I don't know why you didn't like Midnight Meat Train. It's not supposed to be
I
anything
liked
more
that
than
one
just a
fight scene in the train. I thought that was
well,
good.
fuck yeah. That movie has a lot of good parts to it. You're just remembering one part specifically. But yeah, I get it. I mean, Midnight Meat Train is meant to be a popcorn film, a suspense movie with monsters at the end. It's really good at that. It's not meant to be a political thriller.
Mm-mm.
We're not watching it because it's Shakespeare. I did like it for the fact that you have Bradley Cooper when he's relatively unknown, and he played a really good part, I thought.
Well, Bradley
Brooke Shields.
Cooper is a good actor that I really enjoy.
Yeah. He did good in American Sniper. I really liked him in the first Hangover movie. I haven't seen the other two, but I've really dug his work. And when he was in Midnight Meat Train, when I first saw it years ago, I thought, wow, this movie's crazy. And then
Lars and the Real Girl was way better.
two totally different movies. And I would never have watched Lars and the Real Girl if it hadn't been for you insisting I watch it.
And Just One of the Guys. That was a good one.
That's not a bad movie. That's actually a fun movie. I would have never watched Lars and the Real Girl because I don't want to watch a movie about mental illness.
Well, I liked it. It was good.
The entire town had it, not just the guy who lost his mom.
It was a good movie.
No, it was not. That movie, that's like Disclosure Day, where you go watch Disclosure Day, and the part you think is going to happen happens at the very end, and then on the way home, you're calling people up if you don't have people riding with you, and you're just talking about this movie. Lars and the Real Girl would do that. Because that's what you and I did. We talked about it, and I fumed about that movie before I
The Full
even went on.
Monty. That's another one.
That's a good movie. You make
see?
it seem like
So
I
these
don't
are
like your
movies
choice.
that I picked for us to watch, and I thought they were pretty good. I think I've done a pretty good job of movies that I've chosen.
You think I don't like your film picks? I do. I just don't like a lot of your romantic film picks.
Which one's the romantic one?
Bad Girls.
Okay.
Bad Girls.
They had gunfights and everything. All the stuff that you say, gunplay and whatever, and it had hot girls in it.
Horrible fight choreography. The only redeeming part of that movie is at the very end, Mary Stuart Masterson actually got the life she wanted because she found a guy that was willing to put up with her bullshit. And it wasn't really like super bullshit, but every woman has this bag that's labeled bullshit, and they bring it everywhere they go.
Mm-hmm. You know, like this, you mean?
Yeah. But that bullshit tastes good.
Yeah.
But well, it's after 1 o'clock in the morning, so I need to go to bed. I'm really tired. And
thank you,
so I just want to say thank you to guys for hanging out with me. And I hope you guys like my my outro. It's one of the things that I talk about a lot, about helping kids and it's human trafficking, things like that. And it's a Tim Tebow Foundation. So hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and maybe we'll see you tomorrow. Just depends on what, I don't know what's going to happen, but thank you very much for hanging out with me
willing
tonight.
to stream it, Janet, if we can get this level, of interactivity and people can hear what I say, and I don't have people that are stuttering on my end, and I'm not over there to slideshow on your end, we'll do it through your channel.
Well, we can try it and see what happens. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm willing to do that because I'm going to be on your channel anyways. So what difference does it make? Which one does it, as long as it's able to go out?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, you guys have a wonderful night, and thank you very much. And see you guys later.
All right, y'all be blessed now.
God bless America.
Boys and girls all over the world are being abused and tortured.
The worst moments of these children's lives, they're being videotaped and they're being shared with other offenders all over the world.
Many people would refer to this as CSAM, child sexual abuse material.
They are suffering and they don't think that anyone is coming to help them. But we can. We can build that army and we can go get them.
Come be a part of this team that is trying to push back this evil.